And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another edition here of the Maestros of the game group stage, round 16, Group C. I'm of course your VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players. By the way, if you want to chat, I buy my plushies as well. Welcome, welcome, one and all, to our third day, I guess, technically third day of group stage. Now, I do apologize. We were live for Group A, but we did miss out yesterday on Group B. It was a very intense day of StarCraft, and we casted a lot, don't get me wrong. That was our third cast of the day, but unfortunately, I was not able to sleep before. I was not able to sleep in between Masters of the Game and the OSC cast, so I was very fatigued, and technically I could have tried to cast, but I would have been very low energy and would have been out of it. I wouldn't have been satisfied. So in the end, I did miss out on covering Group B of the event. I will be casting it via replays in a couple of days. In a couple of days, I'll be catching up via replays, so I actually don't know what the results are. I'm going to be avoiding to look at said results as well, at least until after we cast in a couple of days' time. But at least we're here. We're here for Group C, and we should be here for Group D and the remainder of the event as well. Oh boy, as you can see, speaking of the groups, on my right, we have 4 players. We have Solar, Bunny, Clem, and Rogue. We have our 2 Zergs and 2 Terran players. Let's go, Bobby, let's go. So up first, we're gonna have Solar versus Bunny, followed by Clem versus Rogue, as we switch our scenes over and catch up on our 2 players here. I believe we're just waiting for the cams to get up and running. I think we're waiting for things to fix up a little bit here, and even then, hold on, I have to switch our players a little bit because I believe I have them in the wrong color. Un momento, papi, un momento. Oh no, un momento. As I flip our players over. Beautiful. As we have our colors set. Okay, Bunny's gonna be red, Solar's gonna be blue, and we are diving into our first game of the series. Game 1 is gonna be on Tuck. Oh, let's go. We have our cams working. We have our 2 lovely, amazing players. Both players are anxious to get things going just because it's very late in South Korea. It's 3 a.m. here, 3 a.m. in the morning. That's also why, again, I was so fatigued yesterday that I just couldn't cast. I was unable to sleep beforehand because of the cast previously. It is 2 a.m. in South Korea. So 3 a.m. here, 2 a.m. in South Korea. Very, very late, and this goes deep and later into the night. I think it ends at around like 7, 8 a.m. Let's go. Let's go, Bobby, let's go. As we're jumping into game number 1, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Team Falcons as well as our teammates. It is a Bunny. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Whew, best of luck. And again, unfortunately, we weren't able to cast yesterday, but I believe Steadfast should have been live at the time. I know that we were both covering Group A, I believe, so I hope he was there for Group B at least. But we're here for Group C onwards. So should be smooth sailings from here on forward to cast every single day of Maestros. Rough time here in Australia, but well, it's fine. we'll make it happen, baby. We'll make it happen. It was just an intense couple of days with StarCraft Evolution League, of course, with OSC, the mid-season playoffs final day where we crowned our champion, and now of course with Maestros of the game. Very quickly as well, if you're unfamiliar, this event is leading into a big offline event happening in France. A big shout out to those working behind the scenes at Comeback TV, at Funk, TKL, and Coca as well. Much love, as they have received so much support from the scene, from the community, from the French community specifically, to help fund the event, to run the event, and make sure that there is going to be an offline portion as well. So really cool, really exciting. Again, exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look back yourselves. Bearing in mind spoilers, of course, when it comes to that bracket, when it comes to the groups, and what has already transpired so far. I do recommend the VODs if you missed out on some previous rounds. Of course, we covered the preliminary stage alongside Group A so far. So far, though, coming into our first series, we have a standard opener. Standard opener, gate expand, racks expand out of Bunny. Meanwhile, across the map, solo going hatch, gas, pool. Everything looking normal so far, everything looking standard. Getting into link speed, getting to a 3 base setup is what we're expecting. And I'm curious to see how Bunny fares in this matchup. We've been casting a lot of Bunny as of late. A lot of TVT and a lot of TVP. From the side of Bunny. I haven't actually casted a lot of Bunny versus Zerg. I think the last time we casted him was maybe a month ago, and if you recall what happened, Bunny versus Cham did go Cham's way. Cham did beat Bunny in the OSC midseason playoffs in that upper bracket. So I lean towards Solar here. I mean, I'm a big Bunny fan, of course, and I do hope that he does well. But again, the pressure is on. The pressure is on. He has to bring his A game here against Solar. I'm curious to see if Bunny has been embracing mech. I know that mech has been very prevalent throughout a lot of matchups in recent months. And depending on the player, some players embrace it, other players less so. So far, we are going for a 1-1-1 aggressive build at a Bunny. Okay, very aggressive. For those that are curious, typically we do open up with a third TC before starport. That is a standard economic opener. Here with a delayed third TC, we can be hyper aggressive. We're going to go into a faster add-on swap, into faster Banshee production. We can go for an armory behind this and go Banshee with Hellbats, with a Hellbat push. Speaking of Hellbats, ooh, no add-on swap, Medivacs with Marauders, and this screams Hellbat push with Marauders to support. So let's see if we do invest into that armory. Interesting that we're going for a Viking, not a Medivac. Very interesting, as a Viking will be hunting the Overlords, will be denying vision, denying scouting, can also land to add some DPS. And that means we might just not go for the Medivac. We might just not go for the armory, and just period. Regardless, hyper aggression at a Bunny. Hyper aggression, there it is. There's the armory for the Hellbats, as we did mention previously. As I did mention, Medivac is now on the way to support, as Viking is here to zone away, to deny the vision, to deny the scout. Here we go. As the overload goes down. From here, Solar, he's droning. He has no safety tech, so no safety Baliness or Roachhorn. We're at 430. At this point, we should be throwing down something here. We'll see if we go Baliness first or Lair first. We've reached that timing. Evo Chamber for a double Evo. Oh, greed. That's a lot of greed out of Solar. Bunny, he could even pull the boys with this. He could pull the boys just to repair, just to commit. This can get damage done. The queens are here. How many? 7 queens are in position. Marauders, they dive in. They're diving for the queens. Oh, Lings, they're trying to go for the Marauders. Hellbats morph in. Lings are getting roasted. Queens are going down. And Bunny may just break through here and now. Gets 1, gets 2 queens. Takes on 2 queens. Nice struggling. Nice control. Doesn't lose anything. Medivac putting in a lot of work. And with that, Bunny's done it. Bunny, he has done it. He has broken through. He has broken the back of Solar. Solar, he's losing every single queen. Queens are going down, and more reinforcements have arrived, and Solar, he's caught with his pants down. Again, what did he do? At 430, he threw down a double lever chamber. Double lever chamber instead of a Baneling Nest or a Roachhorn or any safety tech structure. GG gets called. Too much greed out of Solar, and Bunny takes game number 1. Ooh, GG. GG, well played. Bunny does take the lead in the series. Again, a very aggressive, very committed build out of Bunny, going for the 1-1-1 into Marauder Hellbat push. Again, Solar, he was blind. He was in the dark. He didn't see anything. The Overlord got sniped by the Marine and by the Viking. You could argue that because the Overlord went down, that should have, in a way, triggered Solar to be more safe and more defensive because he didn't know what was happening, but he chose to be greedy, right? He made that decision, made that choice to be greedy instead. And with that, Solar was shut down. He was shut down for his greed. Took a chance, took a risk, didn't pay off in the end. And with that, we're now getting into game number 2. And we'll see if Bunny can claim the series here and now. Remember, this is a best of 3. Best of 3 here, not a best of 5. So we're already on match point. Bunny is already on match point. Uno más, one more game is all that he needs to make it through. Well, let's go. go. Bunny literally goes Hellbats every game. Does he? Are you saying that if he doesn't go Hellbats here, that's crazy? I'm pretty sure Bunny doesn't rely on that too often or too much. Again, I don't expect to see that working here in game 2. Typically, it's unwise to go for the same build multiple times in a row. Now, there are economic variations of Hellbat openers where you can open up Hellbat into a 3rd CC, or you can go 3 CC Hellbat. Like, there are these more economic starts. So we'll see if Bunny does mix things up. We'll see how he does open up coming to Maganatha. Bearing in mind, Maganatha is the largest map in the map pool, longer rush distance by ground, so aggression is typically not favored on a map like Maganatha. But let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. Down in the series, we'll see if Solar can bounce back. It is Solar. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Team Falcons, leading the series 1-0. It is Bunny. Here we go. How about Bunny's signature move against Zergson's Pro League? I don't know if I would generally agree with that. Like, we've seen Bunny embrace a lot of, say, 8-Raxes in recent times. We've seen him play a lot of Bio as well. But what I would say for certain here is that, as a reminder, Solar, he got shut down early on by the initial Viking, by the initial Marine. I do think that it is typically a little bit wiser here, and I'm sure that Solar's a lot more on point when it comes to this sort of thing, when it comes to reacting to being denied a scout with some more safe and more defensive play. This is where mind games come into play, right? This is where, hey, Bunny, he could open up 3cc Starport, open up Viking first, shut down the first Overlord, make it look like he's denying vision, play standard, play economic, and then Solar over defense, right? And then Solar goes for a tech structure first before Evo Chambers, before Lair, which would set Solar behind. So this is where you can have some mind games, and we'll see how Bunny makes use of that. Right now, Bunny has momentum. Bunny, he has kind of dictated the pace of the series, and here is a good opportunity for him to try to fake something out, try to maybe get in the head of Solar. Get into his head, Spider. Let's go. So we'll see. As I was alluding to, I would not be opposed to opening a Viking first. To like play economically, go Viking first, fake his opponent out. We'll see. We'll see if he can fake him out. As for now, Reaper does move out across the map for the scouts. So far, standard opener out of Solar, hatch gas pool. Everything's looking normal from our Zerg player. I'm sure Solar's going to be a little more adamant when it comes to scouting. As for now, he pokes in. This will be the one and only Overlord on this side of the map. And we'll see if Bunny goes for a Starport, or yeah, we have a CC. So he's going for an economic follow-up here. Oh, as the Reaper is deflected. There it is. 3rd CC before Starport. So game 1, remember, it was a 1-1-1. Game 2, 3rd CC. So economic start, standard opener out of Bunny. So from here, we're not going for any kind of Hellbat aggression or anything like that. We can still go for the Starport into Viking first. So we'll see how hard he commits. Likewise, this can also turn into a mech style as well. I mentioned earlier, the mech has been very trendy in a lot of matchups as of late. To me at least, Bunny he doesn't really come off as a mech kind of player, so I'm leaning away from that, but is always a possibility as we're getting to that Starport. As Reaper does pull away. Here, Solar should be getting a lot more comfortable just because there's going to be that much less aggression from Bunny. He still has Hellions for map control, that is true, but for the most part, Solar should be looking good. Can drone, can tech up as well. We'll see if he goes double Evo Chamber. This game, if he does go double Evo Chamber at 430, he would be in a better position. Meanwhile, it is going to be the add-on swap, so Tech Lab on the Rax into add-on swap into Banshee play, so pretty standard stuff. 3cc, Hellion Banshee out of Bunny. As we have our Tech Lab on the way. Here comes the Overlord Scouts, and we get eyes on the Tech Lab on the Rax. Did we see the 3rd CC? Solar, he's still a little bit in the dark as to what's going on. So he fails to confirm if it's going to be a Starport or a CC. And Roach first. Oh. So Solar, he does go for a very safe opener. It's going to be a Roach Warren into the lair. As a reminder, last game he went double Evo Chamber, and I would have preferred that here, but we can see Solar's playing very safe. Playing very safe. This does mean that if he needs Roaches, if it is going to be Hellbats, then he will have Roaches to defend. He'll have Roaches available. So this is going to be better for Bunny, as upgrades are going to be delayed. Now from here we can still make use of this tech choice. We could drone up to 3 bases, get a 4th base for Larva, and then go for a Roach all-in. Like this can turn into an all-in. This can turn into hyper aggression here. We'll see if we're just going to make a safety amount of Roaches or if we invest even further. So our eyes are going to be on Solar. See how he makes use of this tech. Hellions poke in, and Hellions, they will look to force a cancel. Queens are keeping up. So far so good. Oof. Does force a cancel. Kills the drone as well. Very nice here by Bunny. This will slow him down. This also slows down the creep spread in this side of the map as well. And it means that the 7-minute timing, it means that this +1 stim timing can hit in time to break the 4th base for a 2nd time. Can he break it? Oh, actually already. Yeah, one more volley. Does force another cancel. Ay. A further delay on the 4th base. And this position is going to be that much weaker when the timing comes. Sim is finishing, still waiting for 1-1, of course. But this slows down the production, slows down the creep, slows down the economy. And Solar, he's taking. So he's going for a delayed double Evo Chamber into an Infestation Pit. This tells us that we're working towards upgrades, working towards a hive. We can get safety infestors. Because of the 2 cancels on the 4th base, it might be wise here to actually make some safety infestors, like 1 or 2, remember, no banelings. There are no banelings here, so splash damage is very limited, and this timing is going to hit quite hard. For now, hive first. Rushing into the hive. With +1 melee being researched, this also tells us that the goal here is eventually ultras. The goal should be for hive tech and ultra tech. Bailey Nest now on the way. Remember, this is a Bailey Nest at almost 7 minutes. This is Bailey Nest after Infestation Pit. What does this mean? No bailing speed. Bailing speed will not be close to finishing for this push. I mean, bailings, period. True. As Bunny is pushing for these to begin. It does him in. 1 bile does connect. Denies the Ravagers. And nice pickle so far. Clearing up all this creep. Tanks are repositioning, and Solar, he has to buy time. He will morph in 3 Roaches, sorry, 3 Ravagers. The Ravagers almost done. And tank bodies, they are going up. Tanks are a little bit far back. Oh, going for the tower. Yeah, tanks are exposed. 1 tank is going to go down. Nicely done. The Biles will take care of the other. But Marines are stimming in. The tank does go down. Marines are stimming forward. Banshees do help support, and Bunny, can he break through? It's close. He's so close to breaking through. Sims on top of the Queens, but he's running out of Marines. Yeah, he's running out of bio, barely runs out. Again, if he had knocked down the tower early, if he had saved one of those tanks earlier as well, the Banshee's free damage. He's still doing critical damage. He's still doing so much here. Tank volleys going off. Roaches are trying to engage. Oh no, the Roaches go down. The tank survives. And the tank can just keep going. The Banshees as well. And it looks like Solar has been broken. Yeah, he has been broken. GG gets called. And Bunny, he will take the series 2-0. Advancing on to the winners match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very swift, very precise series here out of Bunny. Game 1 going for the Hellbats. Game 2 going for a very, very strong timing here at around 7 minutes. Bearing in mind this timing hit even harder because of the 2 cancellations. I was trying to emphasize that, if you recall, but Sola he was forced to cancel his 4th base twice due to the Hellion harass and due to the Banshee harass as well. That was brutal. That slows down the economy, the production, the creep, the everything in that location. That's why Bunny was so on top of just pushing from then on forward, trying to break Solar. Also Solar, he was trying to play safe by opening up roaches, winding it back when it came to the first engagement. It was so crucial that Bunny, he cancelled the Ravagers. If you recall, we did mention it briefly as it was happening, but when the first fight occurred, Ravagers were morphing in and they were cancelled, and as a result, Solar, he had to back off, he had to rebuild the Ravagers. He got them eventually, but because they were delayed, because they were cancelled, because they had to be rebuilt, it meant the tanks were doing even more damage in the back line ahead of time as well. There's a lot that came into play. But really solid performance there by Bunny. Bunny, he will claim the series. And with that, we're going to be going on a short break. As you can see, the players, they're heading off for the time being. Remember, it's a group stage, of course. And up next, we have our next set of players. We have Clem versus Rogue. So we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have our next series to determine who plays against Bunny and who plays against Solar in this GSL group. See you soon. See you soon after the break. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, I apologize for cutting that intro short, but we are jumping into our second series of the broadcast. We just wrapped up with Solar versus Bunny. Bunny is waiting in the winner's match. Solar stuck in the elimination match. They still have more series ahead of them. Of course, Solar still has another chance, but now we are jumping into that next series, a best of 3 between our next set of players. Let's go. Let's go. Is spawning in the top side of Sandworm. We have the French Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Clem. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner or bottom side, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. I love how he's playing blue. His room is also, it's very blue. It's a very blue room. It's fitting, baby, it's fitting. But here we go. We're jumping in our fresh best of 3. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our TVZ. Oh boy, again, we had a pretty short, pretty concise, pretty fast initial series. We'll see if we have another one here as well, if we slow things down. We'll see how Clem will embrace this matchup, especially coming to a map like Sandworm. Sandworm is an interesting map in the map pool. Of course, is one of the older TLMC 20 maps which did not make the cut, did not make it into the tournament or into the main ladder map pool, but has been chosen to be featured here in this tournament once again after quite some time, and is picked first in the series. Let's go. Let us go. When it comes to the rush distance by ground, it's pretty short rush distance by ground. We have these goal bases that can be taken as a third. There are rocks to delay, but to be honest, it doesn't really delay by much. It doesn't delay by much. The third bases are usually taken quite quickly here at the gold location, and to try to engage here, we have these center pillars, these center dragon's teeth, if you will, worm teeth, if you will, and these cones are interesting. I would say they're more interesting than the pachinko machines in Neon Violet Square. Here, only smaller size units can actually fit through these cones. Otherwise, I have to go the long way around, and engagements can be affected by this as well, of course. So we'll get to it if we do get an engagement in the center of the map. Likewise, with rocks to be knocked down. As for now, we're settling in. So far, Hatchcat's pool, standard opener out of Rogue. As Clem has been hyper aggressive in this matchup in recent months. I mean, I say for the majority of this year has been hyper aggressive, and we've seen, of course, the Atrax meta come and go. We've seen a mech out of Clem, of course, as well. For now, we have a third CC before Starport, so economic opener out of our Terran player here. We'll see how Rogue can handle Clem, especially on a map like Sandworm. Now, infamously, of course, Rogue is very fond, and he still does whip out a certain style of play every now and then, where he slows the game down, goes into Mass Overseer, and goes into this heavy lurker style. That is true, but I would say that build is very rare, and it's also more map dependent. On some of these larger maps where you can get away with something like slowing the game down and taking up into Mass Overseer, into Mass Lurker as well, I would say maps like Tokamak would favor that. Here on Sandworm, I would say not. I would say it would be ill-advised to try to go for that. We'll see if Rogue can slow the game down. Otherwise, we'll see if he can be more aggressive. He is typically a Roach boy, so we'll keep an eye out for the Roach Horn or a Bailey Nest. Soon we'll have our take of choice. As the Reaper does dive in, gets behind the middle line, confirming no fast tech, confirming no shenanigans. As the Reaper will even get away, Hellions into the natural. Getting a couple of drones, not bad. 3 drones. Ooh, 3 drones go down for a Hellion. Very nice trade here for Clem. As Clem pulls out, behind this, getting into more Hellions, into Banshee play. There's the add-on swap. Oh boy. Color scheme. Yeah. I feel like their rooms are fitting with their colors. Unironically. We spoke about Rogue being a Roach boy. There it is. Roach Warren gets thrown down Eva Chamber as well. We're ready for a full wall in case it's a Hellion dive. Rogue is going for a safer start with a Roach start. I say safer, of course. Solar did attempt to go roaches in game number 2 against Bunny, but he was caught being too greedy. Remember, he went for an infestation, was taking it to hive tech, and he got shut down as he was teching as well. I mean, there's so many factors that came into game 2 of that Solar versus Bunny series. Here, Clem versus Rogue, we should be seeing just safer play out of Rogue. He's got +1 carapace on the way into roach play, into slowly eventually a 4th base, into a more roach heavy style is what we're expecting. As Rogue doesn't even have a second Evo chamber. Clem behind this, going into Bio, not into Mech. Not this time. Throws down extra Raxes, double eBay as well. I should emphasize these, the double eBay setup here is actually quite fast. So earlier double eBays getting to a 5 rack setup, and I feel like we're actually setting up for an 8 racks. Oh boy. We'll see if that's the case. As we're going to have a very strong 1-1 timing and an even stronger 2-2 timing. So we'll keep an eye on the additional Raxes. And again, Sandworm wouldn't be a bad map for it just because of the size of the map itself. Hellions poke in, they shave off more Lings. They of course confirm the roaches. Banshee towards the gold. And can we force a cancel? We can! The Queens, no! The Queens are stuck. Queens don't engage, and that is going to be a, hopefully a cancel. No, that's a kill! That should not have happened. That's a kill, not a cancel. At the same time, Hellions, they were distracting in the mineral line. 4 drones go down. That is a brutal loss already here for Rogue. Ay, ay, ay. Solar, he was forced to cancel his base twice. Here, Rogue, his base was killed. Again, at the same time, 4 drones did go down at the 3rd. Rogue was otherwise distracted. And that is a rough start for Rogue. Oh boy. Now behind this, he's going into range. This tells us he wants to commit into Hydras, eventually into Lurker tech. There it is. Hydra is on the way. Infestation bit. He does want to go into Lurkers. So Rogue, his win condition, his goal here is to slow the game down to get into Lurkers. Meanwhile, we spoke about the timing of the double eBay and how it looked like an 8 racks. There it is. 3 more Raxes. 8 racks. 3 base all in. So 3 base all in out of Clem, which means he's going to double down. He's going to be hyper committed, hyper aggressive. The goal here should be to break the 4th for a 2nd time and to keep on pushing from there. To just keep on pushing, keep on going. Clem, he's setting up. 1-1 is about to kick in. Bearing in mind that it's not just about 1-1. We have the 2-2 timing after this as well once all these Raxes do kick in. Clem, he has momentum. He has momentum. The aggression is on. He's moving in. From here, he'll be able to trade well against the roaches. Trying to get on top of the tank. Yeah, more roaches going down. Comes in for the surround. The Ravagers fall as well. And Clem, he breaks through. He breaks through. We spoke about it. He wants that expansion. He wants the hatchery. Can he get it? Queens, they come in from behind. They get on top of the 2nd tank. Oh, good with the Ravager. Yeah, another Ravager goes down. Rogue, he's barely holding on. But remember, this is the first wave. At the same time, Hellions, they bust into the mineral line. 4 more drone kills. Thankfully, Rogue, he does pull away. It pulls away in time. Nice reaction, nice defense. Now, bearing in mind, this was only the first push. This was not the 8 racks. This is the 8 racks. Like, this is the timing plan. We're making 11 Marines at a time. Let's go. Clem is pushing. And again, the rally should not stop. The rally should not stop from here. The tanks are getting a little bit choked up here on the Dragon's Teeth, on the cones. Now moving forward, there's no Ravagers. Remember, the Ravager count was reset, so 0 Ravagers left. And Marines, they can just stim. Yeah, he can just stim and win from here. Tank blows on the roaches. All the roaches go down. Hydras are exposed. And Rogue, he shouldn't be able to hold from here. He's trying to, though, but the rally is too much. The rush distance by ground is too short. And Clem will overwhelm. Clem, he will overwhelm. GG gets called. Clem, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. A very, very strong start here for Clem. Bearing in mind, a lot did go well for him. 1, the map itself does favor 8 racks, as we spoke about the size of the map. We spoke about how that does strengthen the intensity of something like a 3 base all-in, for sure. But more importantly, the death of the 4th. The death of the 4th base, that was a brutal, brutal start. Losing the 4th base early on, as we mentioned, it's actually quite similar to what happened to Solar. Very, very similar. You lose the 4th. It is so difficult to defend against these timings without that fourth base, just because of the larva, just because of the production, more importantly. I mean, the larva, the production go hand in hand. The economy, the creep, the setup, it was just a really, really rough start. That was kind of one of the first dominoes to fall. I say one of the first because, of course, drones were also going down as well. That's why the base had fallen, as Rogue was otherwise distracted. GG well played. The setup for the push was brutal and set Clem up for success. GG well played. With that, we're now getting into our next game. With that, we'll see if Rogue can make a series out of this. We'll see if Clem can close it out here and now. Game 2, Tokamak. Now, what I will say about the veto process and the map order, you can see them here. Sandworm, Tokamak, Maganatha. Sandworm, that's Clem's map, 100%. Like, the smaller the map, the more favored it's going to be for a player like Clem. On these larger maps, though, on a map like Tokamak, and I would say Maganatha as well, this is where I lean more towards a Zerg player. This is where Rogue, our Zerg player, should be a little more comfortable when it comes to securing a fourth base. But we'll get there. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the French Terran player, we have the Red Terran representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. Here we go. Whew, and welcome one all to Tokamak. Tokamak is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Likewise, also has a very defendable 3 and 4 base setup as well. Just because there are less avenues of attack, we do see the area in between the bases completely closed off by these rocks, so there are less options, and it's a little bit easier to rotate between your bases. They're closer together as well, so a 4 basing player is a little bit more favored here. But before we can even think about 4 bases, I do like this 2-rank Reaper. 2-rank Reaper out of Clem. So Clem, early on, he wants to gain momentum. Early on, he wants to try to make Rogue as uncomfortable as possible. So bear this in mind, 2-rank Reaper is not an all-in. This is not an all-in. The purpose of this build is to delay the third. In the previous game, a big setup of that was denying and delaying the 4th base. Here, all about the 3rd. Reaper's going to be moving out. The goal here to contain Rogue on 2 bases for as long as possible, while Clem builds up into a stim timing with 2-on-1. As of course, after this we'll get into reactors, tech labs, stim, bioproduction, into the follow-up push. Typically, there are some niche builds where you can open up 2-rank Reaper and this leads into mech. True, like that is something that players like Cure, for example, have been messing around with. Meanwhile, oh my god, speaking of early aggression here, my eyes are on Clem, but Rogue blindly staying in gas, skips link speed, roaches. We're going for a roach rush instead. The Overlord did confirm, true. Overlord did confirm what was going on. And Rogue is responding with roach aggression. Now suddenly the pressure's on Clem not to scout for a 3rd, instead to scout for the tech for the Warren. But now the Reapers are poking in, they're prodding, they're rotating, they're checking for the 3rd base. Dip into the main. Queens are somewhat in position, but Reapers, they get in. They do get in. Lings, they try to bypass, they will cut them off. Yeah, nice and nice here from Rogue. Again, just ensuring there is no scout. So far, Rogue does zone away. Oh, happy it's 4 AM again. Link's going down. Roach production has begun. Reapers, they bust in. And they once again do not get into the main base. Behind this 3rd CC. Yeah, 3rd CC is on the way. Clem is being greedy. Roaches are revealed. Now he knows, and he needs bunkers. He needs bunkers desperately so. He has add-ons on the way. Again, because he didn't know what was happening, he was wasting time on add-ons, wasting time on a 3rd CC. And we'll see what these roaches can accomplish. It's go time. Roaches are moving out. We have a 2nd bunker on the way, so 2 bunkers on low ground. They're going to be behind the production, so the production is exposed. Rogue is moving in. Nice delay. Throwing down the KDA charges. Delaying the push. Back at home, Rogue, he is droning. He's not all in. He is droning up. Cyclone does hop out. Yeah, the Cyclone tank is on the way. Oof. Sparks are connecting. Going for the reactor. Reactor goes down. Takes on the reactor. Again, just disrupting the production. Behind this, Rogue is expanding. Rogue is droning. Oh, we'll lose a roach. We'll lose one of his roaches. And the lock-in is broken once again. Gets another roach though. The tank has arrived and Rogue, he's overextended. Yeah, he's overstayed his welcome. He's gonna lose everything. Oh, good. If he was able to escape with his army, that would have been fine, but he will lose every roach and every ravager as well. Expensive losses there for Rogue, as that should not have happened. Rogue losing 5 roaches and 2 ravagers for what? For a reactor, 2 marines, and a reaper. Bearing in mind that, remember, Clem, he got away with a 3rd CC. He's already landing. He's already landing his 3rd base on location. Rogue, his own 3rd base isn't even done. For the Terran player to be on an equivalent base count as a Zerg is brutal. Typically, the Zerg wants to be up a base. That's not happening. So Clem, he takes a lead. Clem takes the lead, but do you see what I see? Rogue, he's not droning. Rogue, he has the base. He's not droning up. He's got link speed on the way. He's got 18 links in production here. Rogue, he's massing up a massive army to not just deal with this push, but it looks like to counterattack as well. Here we go. Clem does move in. Tank volley is going off. Clem is wedging himself in between the 3rd base and the natural. This base will go down. At the same time, we're going for the base trade. Yeah, we're just avoiding the main army. Lings, they get across, they get a surround. The repair is not in time. Yeah, boys are being pulled, but alas, too little too late. And here come the roaches, here come the ravagers. We come into the base trade. Clem is racing back home. Clem turns around. He didn't kill the base. Uh-oh. Didn't kill the expansion. Didn't get much damage done at all. SCVs are going down. More ravagers morphing in. And Rogue, he may have just done it here. As he's not done, he's killing more SCVs. Yeah, kill the miles. Oh my god. Yeah, so many SCVs going down, collapsing on the Marines. Remember, these are stimulus Marines as well. And GG gets called. GG gets called. Clem just called completely out of position. He raced back home, did no damage across the map, but came back and everything still died anyway. GG. GG, well played. Whew. With that, we have a series. We have a back and forth. GG, well played. Honestly, it was a disastrous start. It was a disastrous start for Rogue, and this game would have been completely different if Clem stayed at home. If he didn't push, if he just stayed at home, if he took his lead and he just ran with it instead. But Clem, he wanted to break the 3rd. He wanted to break the 3rd base, and I mean, there would have been a chance for Clem if he had just committed to the base trade, for sure. If he had committed to the base trade, then things would have gone very chaotic. Of course, he could lift, he could evacuate. Would he have had enough to actually break the natural and break the main base? Hard to say. I think he could have broken at least the natural expansion, but of course he chose to come back home, and alas, he didn't really have anything to work with. GG. GG, well played. So in the chaos, Rogue, he does bring it back, and now we're going all the way to game number 3. We're going to game 3 here. We're going to the ace match. We're going to be loading into Maganatha. Maganatha is another one of these larger maps. We'll see where our players take us. Let's go. It's a big mug. Ah, it's huge. I feel like it still has a ways to go to emulate Maru, of course. Still has a ways to go. For those that are curious, that's what this emote is referencing. Our hydrate emote in the chats. For those that don't know, Maru, he's renowned for having a water bottle that's like basically his size. A Maru size water bottle. That he would drink from. But here we go. We're getting into the ace match, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg tying things up, forcing the ace match for Team Falcons. It is Rogue. Stay awake, baby. Stay awake. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the French Terran player. We have the Red Terran. For Team Liquid, it is Clem. Here we go. As we are setting up this time, standard opener. This time we're not playing, we're not having any kind of shenanigans here with 2 ranks or 3 ranks Reaper. This time standard opener out of Clem. Likewise, standard opener out of Rogue. Whew. Clearly we need a car-sized water bottle. Ah, no. Prime DJ in 92 hours, clearly. I mean, kind of. There are some of the Koreans that do stay up for Monday night weeklies, true. So I guess for those players, like, this is, I guess, a perfectly normal time to game for them. But for the others, nah, they're responsible, baby. They're responsible. Hey. Glad to catch your cast live for once. Oh, welcome, Pony. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos. Glad you caught us. I mean, we're live every day, but at the same time, we're typically not live at around this hour. True, like at around this hour is usually when I'm sleeping. But for Maestros of the game, we are going to be live at this hour throughout the next couple of days and next week as well. I think this is more like prime time EU time. I think we're usually live in the mornings in Europe. In the mornings. Ooh, as Clem will delay both third bases. Yeah, Reaper on the left, SCV on the right. It's very, very annoying here, and Rogue's third is going to be delayed. So nice start, even forcing the gas guy. Just does he get a drone? He does even kill a drone as well. Very nice start for Clem. Delays the third, kills a drone, forces out a gas geyser. And behind this, third CC before starport, economic opener out of Clem. Here we go. From here we are going to be joining up. We do have, a 3cc 2-on-1. Let's go. So not a standard follow-up here. It was economic, that is true, but this is going to be leading into an early stim timing. So this means no add-on swap, no Banshee play. We're going for early stim, going for early marine production, into medevacs, into drop play. Now this does hit later than a regular 2-on-1, but this is still going to be quite a hefty stim timing, and we'll see how Rogue does decide to open up as well. We have seen him play Roaches twice now. You know, Roach play is typically Rogue's go-to in ZVT, so we expect to see Roaches again. We'll see if he cuts corners. We'll see if he decides to play Ling Bane. We'll see if he is more tech heavy. As for now, the Overlord is going in. Crucial here for him to scout. There it is. Roach Warren gets thrown down. No surprises here. Again, he's played Roaches every game so far. Roaches once again. And the Overlord will confirm the early stim. He knows. Yeah, he sees both ranks, so he's aware of the 2-on-1. With that, we can go for an earlier Evo chamber and prioritize +1 carapace. That would be the most beneficial upgrade. As your Overlord is hunted down. Supply blocks Rogue. Oh. Yeah, brutal supply block. He's got 4 more Overlords on the way to get out of that. Breaks out supply block. There's that Evo chamber. Again, we're expecting +1 carapace. Blair is on the way for a Roach speed. And Rogue has some droning to do. Again, he's free to drone for a little bit longer, as he's still making Roaches against the Hellions at least. There goes 7 more drones. Medevacs are on the way, and then it'll be go time. Now with this 2-on-1 drop, we can hunt down Overlords, we can deny a creep, but we could potentially get into Mineral Lines. For the most part, Rogue should be able to keep up. He shouldn't lose anything major. He shouldn't lose any of his economy, I should say. Shouldn't, but we'll see. So have a double drop coming in. From here, Sims on forward, gets an Overlord. Not bad. Takes down one of the Overlords, pulls away. Checking for the fourth. Unfortunately, checks the wrong location. Fourth base is getting up and running. Otherwise, this double drop could actually force a cancel. Snipes an Overlord. Hellions, they push on the right-hand side. Trying to dive into the mineral line. For the most part, Rogi should be able to respond. And he does respond in time. Good reaction. No major losses. Clem, he does scout the fourth. Is now aware, and Rogue is taking. Rogue is taking up. We spoke about +1 carapace earlier. We have the Baliness on the way. We have the infestation bit as well, and we'll see if he goes into range or melee. If he goes into range, there's a higher chance he works towards Hydras and Lurkers again. If he goes into melee, there's a higher chance he goes into Ultras instead. And we have the answer: melee. So melee upgrades on the way. So we're leaning towards Hive Tech into Ultras. Which can be quite effective. The problem here, though, of course, is that Clem hits first. Clem has only been active with the double drop. Now here comes the main army at 7 minutes. This is the 1-1 timing, as 1-1 is almost complete. Fourth TC is on the way. Clem, he's not A-maxing, he's only on 5. So just a standard timing here at a Clem. He will trade well, though. Trades very nicely. Picks off Roaches. We have Bailing Speed on the way. Getting to Link Bane Roach Ravager. Oh, that's... we forced a bit of friendly fire here. Roaches, they do break through. Tanks, they already race back home, so very nice timing there for Clem to unsiege when he did. Doesn't lose anything. Oh, Spurge soon. 2 medevacs get wild. Ay, ay, ay. Dark, is that you? Okay. Oh my god. Snipes 2 medevacs. At the same time, and Clem, he denies the 5th. At least the 4th is up and running. Now, if you recall, I'd assumed that it was going to be Ultra Tech, but I'm going to have to eat my words here, because despite the melee upgrades, we are going into Adrenal, but that is not an Ultra Cavern. That is a Hydra Den instead, more indicative of Lurker play. So it's going to Hydras, not Ultras. Interesting tech switch here from Rogue. We'll see how hard he commits. We'll see if he can get there. I should be fast. Oh, that's a kill, not a cancel. Kills the 5th expansion. So far, Clem doing well for himself. Abusing the lack of anti-air. There's that Lurker Den on the way. Range upgrade is going to be delayed. And Clem is pushing. He's maxed out. Both armies are. But remember, Rogue has an inflated army supply with Roach Ravager. Now, a big deciding factor is going to be the Vipers. Vipers with their Blinding Clouds. How well do they land? So far, going for the tanks. Yeah, first pair of tanks get covered. Just the tanks, though. The rings, they rush past. Wooden mines are setting up. So they do get one of the mines. One mine goes down. Forcing friendly fire, not bad. Oh. Some wooden mines are still connecting. Once again, friendly fire, and Rogue holds. Yeah, Rogue, he does hold on. Whew. He's holding, he's defending. Lurker upgrades are on the way. Here come the first wave of Lurkers. 5 Lurkers morphing in, and if Rogue can buy enough time for these Lurkers to finish, he can slow the game down. He can slow the game down, he can force back Clem and force out Ghost. But they're not ready. They're not ready! No! Oh my god. Lurkers, they barely finish. They morph in. Lurkers, they burrow in time. There's that Ghost Academy. Clem is being forced into Ghosts. And Rogue defends. Rogue, he holds, he defends. I say that Clem makes his way into the 5th. Dropping at the 4th base as well. Again, for the most part, Rogue, he's keeping up. So that's away the drop. Lurkers, they defend the 4th base. Ooh, full medevac goes down to a Spore. You can see Clem, he wants to keep the pressure up. Wants to keep being aggressive. But he's running out of steam. And Rogue, he's getting more comfortable. Now, if you recall, we spoke about this at the start of the series, going into this lurker-heavy style. The hardest part about it is getting there, right? The hardest part about going into lurkers is surviving into lurker tech. And Rogue, he's almost there. He's almost there. We'll take some Maestros to the face. Clem, he's overstimmed. So far, Rogue, he has 6 lurkers. That's not critical mass, not yet. Rogue, he's getting there. He's getting to the mass lunker. Back at home, Clem throwing down more CCs. Again, switching into a heavy ghost count. Ideally, against Mass Lurker, you want a heavy ghost count. You want to get into Liberators as well, depending on the lurker count. How invested, how committed the Zerg player is. So far, still only 6 lurkers. Nidus Storms are on the way, building up Overseers. I don't think the Rogue is out of the woods yet, just because his lurker count is so low. I still am concerned, I should say, for Rogue. As Clem's army is still quite terrifying. Snipes going up. Gets 1, gets 2, gets 3. Cuts the lurker count in half. Ooh, Marines, they do rush in. Yeah, some rough trades there from Clem. Bleeds out a lot of Lings. EMP on the Vipers. Clem has to get the hell out of there. At the same time, snipes the 5th. Hey, not bad. Takes down the 5th base. And the lurkers are exposed. He gets 1, he gets 2. There's 1 left. Oh, 1 lurker remaining. And he wants it, and he gets it as well. Nice pickups. As we mentioned, the lurker count is still very low for Rogue. Very low. Without them, he cannot defend. Lurkers are being denied. 5 lurkers just now finishing. And the snipes are brutal here. Getting another 2 lurkers. Down to 2. Sorry, down to 4. 4 lurkers left. Clem gets another base. And as you can see here, Rogue, he has no map control. He has no creep. He has creep on the right-hand side. He has 1 active tumor that's been making its way up. So 1 active tumor for Rogue. That's all he has. And he hasn't been able to really pressure the bases. Only just now with the Ling run by. But Clem, these bases are left untouched. So untouched economy here for the Terran. He's still moving in. And Rogue, he's still just up against the wall. Still treading water. He's up to 8 lurkers. Getting up to 10. Okay. 10 lurkers for Rogue. Oof. Snipes, they punish the Hydras. Oh god. Snipes are brutal. Snipes, they pop up. Another lurker goes down. And Clem is just out trading. He's just out trading Rogue, just being more efficient. And the problem here is that typically, I mean, the Terran army is meant to be more efficient. That's true. The problem is, what does the Zerg army typically have? The economy, but that's not the case. That's not the case here. There's no economy. GG gets called, and Clem, he will overwhelm. He will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the winners match. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Clem, he killed the 5th base 3 times, I want to say. Was it 3? Around like 3, maybe even 4 times if we count the cancellations. But Clem, he was just on top of the economy of Rogue. Rogue, he had no map control, he had no vision, he had no creep, he had no bases, more importantly. And because of that, he had no bank to work with. He was trading with Clem, but he had no economy to rebuild his losses, to rebuild up, or to build up his lurker count, to actually replenish the army. In the end, Clem did just outtrade, outscale. GG. GG, well played, congratulations. Clem, he will claim the series. He will advance on into that winners match, and we have our TBT. We have our TBT getting ready for us here. It is going to be Bunny versus Clem in that winners match. Oh boy. As you can see here, we have our set of players. So Bunny took down Solo 2-0, Clem took down Rogue 2-1. You can see the winners match is that TBT, Bunny and Clem. Losers match is going to be Solo versus Rogue, and then we'll have the decider match then on forward. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves here, we just wrapped up our first 2 matches. Coming into the winners match and all these remaining matches, best of 5s. These are all best of 3s up until now. From here on forward, purely best of 5. So longer series, more matches, more games, more potential for a back and forth. Oh boy. Also, I misspoke. My apologies. How dare I say TVT? We all know TVP. True. Terran versus Protoss. Clem, he has not played Terran in a TBT in a very long time. I want to say almost a year. It's been almost a year since then. It was December of 2024, which is the last time he played a TBT. So it is going to be a Protoss versus Terran matchup instead. We'll need a moment though, so we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have that next series. See you soon. See you soon after the break. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the welcome back to the winners match. The winners match here of Group C. I just need a moment to set things up. Here we go. There we go. We have our winners match. The vetoes are done, and we have our 2 players ready. Of course, it's going to be a best of 5, not a best of 3 PVT. Again, I did misspeak earlier at the beginning when I said it was going to be a Terran versus Terran, as of course Clem has not played Terran in almost a year of play. Almost a year, Pappy. Free from TVTs. Let's go. Let's jump on in to our fresh best of 5. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Pylon, we have our South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. We have the French Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Shake it off, baby. Shake it off. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our TVP. Here we go. Now, coming into this, Clem has some of the best PvT in the world. We've said this before. Just to reiterate, there's only one player that he hasn't beaten with his Protoss, and that is Maru, and that is only because it never played. Like, right? That was, I said this before, but that was the one regret that I had about Maru not going to Star Zagora, is that he never played against Clem. Likewise, at EWC, they never played and they never hit then either. So, unfortunately, Maru, he's the only player that has avoided the wrath of Clem's Protoss. Outside of that, it is a PvT to be feared for sure. You could make an argument that he has, again, one of the best PvTs in the world. It's pretty insane. It's hi. For now, though, we do have Bunny going for a double gas opener into a faster factory, and I would favor Bunny coming into these smaller maps. Again, if you've been watching Bunny over the past couple of months, you would know that Bunny, he is known for all-ins. He does a lot of all-ins, specifically in this matchup. He is one that is very fond of pulling the boys, going for 2 base all-ins and going for 3 base all-ins as well, or even fake third CCs. Now, I say that, last week we were covering some Bunny earlier in the Open Cups, and he was playing more macro play, more mid-game play, with some mixed results, is what I will say. Definitely some mixed results. He went down to Showtime. Showtime did actually look very, very dominant against Bunny. Showtime versus Bunny, that was yesterday. We cast him yesterday in a best of 5, and Showtime he 3-0'd. It was crazy how strong Showtime was looking. We'll see how Clem compares. We shall see. As of course, Showtime and Bunny, they played in the OSC mid-season playoffs. That was yesterday morning. Yesterday morning before Maestros Group B. Before Group B. For now, Twilight Council opener out of Clem. No surprises here. We expect Twilight Council into Blink, into 3 gates, into a 3rd base. So 3-gate Blink is what we're expecting. Adept does arrive, will delay the CC. Nice setup here from Clem. Hunting down the SCV, he wants him, he gets him. Oh, SCV goes down, delays the command center, and delays even further until the Marines arrive. He wants that Reaper, he gets him. Oh, barely not. The Reaper does get away, second Adept has arrived. Clem applying a lot of pressure, heavy delay here for Bunny. He cannot move down, not without the Cyclone. Cyclone is almost out. And Clem will shade away. Pull out, does pull away. Alright, I saw someone doing the playlist command. During the break, when there's a countdown timer, that's the Brutal OST. So you can Google or YouTube the Brutal OST. And that's the music that we play during the countdown timer. So to have a Clem getting a safety robo on 2 bases before expanding. Meanwhile, Bunny's just securing his natural. Gonna get a very delayed economy here out of our Terran player. Clem is up by 10 workers as a result, so a very strong start out of Clem. Now, because of the shaky opener here, we'll keep an eye on Bunny to see how hard he commits. He's moving out early on with the tank drop. Let's go. We have Marines, we have a tank, we have a Cyclone, we have a pretty hefty army early on. Liberator on the way to support this, and Bunny, he will commit. And Clem, he's not here to slow him down. Ideally, the Protoss player wants to be active, wants to be out on the map to slow this down, to pick away at the Marines, to force an early siege, to maybe even pick off the tank as well. But here, Clem, he doesn't see this until now. Now he sees the army, now he knows. Does spot with the Observer. Clem, he tries to get a Marine, gets one. 2 Marines go down, the tanks are pushing in, and Clem is being zoned away. It's being zoned away, but does fight out of range of the tank, gets a Cyclone. Cyclone goes down, buying time for an extra warp in. As the Immortal's on the way, here comes the warp in. Clem coming from behind, will take a tank shot to the face. Yeah, that's a lot of tank volleys. Liberator goes down, does barely get the tank, but that's a lot of dead Stalkers. That's how there was 5 Stalkers going down. That was expensive. Losing 6. Yeah, 6 Stalker kills. Bunny, he trades well, but he does ideally want more damage. I force it back off. Yeah, force to pull away. In the end, that was 6 Stalkers for a tank, a Liberator, a Cyclone, 8 Marines. It wasn't a bad trade here for Bunny. The problem that I'm seeing here, though, is that I'm pretty sure Bunny, I don't know if he really intends to expand, does have +1 on the way, so he's working on +1, working on more Marines. We'll see if he gets a 3rd TC or if he throws down 2 more Vaxes. We have the answer. 3rd TC. He's building up into the mid-game. He's building up into a longer game, which means Clem will be able to expand and saturate his 3rd. Clem is gaining map control, and Bunny's on our Terran to defend to Turtle. Turtle on up. With 2 Immortals, Clem, he could break through. There's no bunker. Yeah, there's no bunker. We're lacking a defensive setup here. There are 2 tanks, but Clem, he could try to break this. Yeah, he's going for the dive. Ooh, does go for the dive. Gets a medevac. 1 medevac goes down, chipping away the production. Does force a cancel. Cancels the Vax, and Clem pulls away. He backs off. Again, with 2 tanks and the fact that Stim is not done, I would have seen Clem breaking this position, but here he plays it safe, pulls back, gets his 3rd, saturates. Calming down. And Clem behind this, building up into charge, into storm. I believe +1 is going to be delayed. Yeah, delayed +1 for faster storm. Clem is just taking another base, getting his 4th, gaining map control. Storm is done, so now I can push in. We'll see if he commits to a fight or if he does go for harassing damage instead. Bunny is spread. Oh, doesn't quite get the medevac. And here comes the Storm Drop. Yeah, Storm Drop into the mineral line. 2 storms will land, delay reaction. That's going to be a lot of dead SCVs. Oh, losing 15. 15 workers go down. That's the entire mineral line. Ay, ay, ay. And Clem gets away. That's what's terrifying. He gets away, doesn't lose a single High Templar. You can recall. And there it is. Does recall back home. Does save the Prism. Bunny's moving out. He gets spotted by the Observer. Ooh, it's a sniper tank. Tank goes down to 2. 2 tanks left. He's pushing into Storm. And Clem just go for the dive. Yeah, tanks set late to siege. First tank is going to go down to 1. And soon to be down to 0. Clem completely shuts this army down. Takes in all the tanks. EMP does land, but there's still a Storm left over. And you can see even without the Storm. Let me chasing Bunny down. Diving in, forcing friendly fire. There's the first Storm. And GG. GG gets called. Clem will snowball out of control, and Clem will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played, Clem. He will take a lead in the series. Again, it was a stronger start out of Clem, if you recall, where he was able to delay the CC and delay the economy and disrupt the economy. I would say that Bunny had a decent follow-up when he moved out with his tanks, where he was able to trade against the Stalkers and delay the 3rd base of Clem. That was nice and all, but alas, for the most part, Bunny, he relinquished map control. He was slowly expanding, getting a 3rd base, which allowed Clem to move out, to do what he wanted. Go for the Storm Drop, annihilate the economy, and force the move out. And Clem, he dealt with it handedly. It was an impressive fight there from Clem, shutting down Bunny's army completely, even without Storm. GG. GG, well played. With that, Clem does take a lead, and we're getting ready for game number 2. Go. Now, my concern coming into this here is that these larger maps are going to be favoring Clem. These smaller maps like Pylon, like Ultra Love, like Torches, they can favor a more aggressive Terran player, and a more aggressive Bunny opted not to be too aggressive here, as he opted to expand on Pylon. And now that we get into these larger maps, this is where Clem is going to be much more comfortable gaining map control, getting up to 4, 5, 6 bases, and snowballing out of control. Oh boy. So game 2 is going to be on Tokamak. We got Tokamak, we got Gressvan, we got Incorporeal, and we got Persephone. Oh boy. As the remaining maps. As a reminder, this tournament does feature an extended map pool, which is why we saw Sandworm earlier. It's why we're seeing Gressvan here as well. I believe they got rid of Last Fantasy and Torches. I believe Last Fantasy and Torches were removed and replaced by Gressvan and Sandworm. And I think there's another. I think there's another map that I think ley lines also got removed. Yeah, they got rid of ley lines and they added another map. They added Golden, I think Golden Wall. I keep forgetting if they added either Golden Wall or Golden Aura. One of the two. I think it's Wall. I think they added Wall instead of ley lines. But here we go. Here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the blue Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Protoss player. We have the red Protoss. Representing Team Liquid, it is Clem. Here we go. So here we are going to be settling in. Welcome to Tokamak. Tokamak is a much larger map in the map pool, known for longer games, known for macro and late game as well. Again, the rush distance is longer, more defendable bases. The bases are closer to each other. There's less avenues of attack, so easier to rotate between these bases to defend. Likewise, a lot of ramps, a lot of points of elevation, a lot of choke points. The pressure is going to be on Bunny here. Now, this wouldn't be a bad map to open up 3cc. We have seen players like Bjorn and a couple of the other Koreans, but mainly Bjorn, dabble into 3-racks 3cc, or 3cc 3-racks. We do see them mixed into maps like Maganatha or Tokamak. But I'm not so sure Bunny's one to really be that greedy. For now, CC was delayed. Thrown down at 500 minerals. So nice delay there by Clem. As we are going for an economic opener this time. Racks expand. So we do have that more economic build. Golden Wall, yeah, we go. It's one or the other. I mix it up because it's OSC tournaments that have Golden Aura. So there's other tournaments that feature Golden Aura. There's this tournament that features Golden Wall. Both old maps, but both are being run by different tournaments. But there we go. As behind this, hey, we just brought it up, so we got a little bit lucky here. It's 3cc 3-racks. Let's go. Yo, Bunny, he's listening to the stream, papi. As we mentioned before, this is a build that Bjorn is very fond of. Bjorn is very fond of this, and some of the other Korean Terrans dabble in this as well. But it makes sense. Like, the reason why we brought it up is because Tokamak is known for greed and known for longer games. So if you're gonna go for 3cc 3-racks, this would be the map for it. as we're waiting for the third ranks. When it comes to this build, there's pros and cons. The big pro, of course, is how fast the third base is. But the downside, of course, no factory production, which means late Cyclone, late tank production. So this build can be very vulnerable to Stalker aggression because of the heavy delay on factory, because of how little gas you have, right? You're being so greedy with this build, you can be abused. The big power spike for Bunny comes into play when the third base is taken, right? When Bunny claims his third base, when he lands it, when he saturates at third, then his economy will be boosted, his supply will skyrocket, and he'll have this big timing available to him to be more aggressive on 3 bases. And Clem, he has 2 options. Ooh, okay, behind this, 2-gate. Wow, 2-gate blink into a third. Very greedy build here by Clem. Clem, he didn't scout the main base. He didn't see the third TC or the extra Raxes, so he's not fully aware of what's going on. But this is going to actually be quite nice for the Protoss. So 2-gate blink is a build that is very out of meta nowadays. It's rarely seen, especially because a couple of months ago, we saw the rise in popularity, and I'm sure if you've been watching, of 2-base all-ins, right? You saw that there was like a month or two in this year, earlier this year, where we saw almost nothing but 2-base all-ins, and you just pull the boys. Because of that, Protoss players, they stopped going for this build that Clem's going for. They stopped being this greedy, but here on Tokamak, Clem, he does cut corners, he does go for the faster third base, and it's going to work very nicely against the economic build of Bunny, because Bunny cannot punish Clem. So both players are being greedy. Both players are being greedy in their own way. Marine Scout will confirm the timing of the third. Bunny is aware. So both players are building up into the mid game. And here Bunny is going to be going for that earlier stim timing. So chat, why is Clem playing Protoss? If you haven't been watching Clem over the past year of play, you might not know this, but Clem for almost 10 months has not played a TVT. So should have been seeing his Protoss if you've been watching StarCraft this year in 2025. But notoriously, TVT was Clem's weakest matchup. Straight up, it was his weakest matchup. It's the matchup he struggled in the most. And his answer to TVT is, you know what? Let's just avoid TVT. Let's just play Protoss. Yeah, and it worked. it was a good solution to his TVT woes. Good solution. As from here, we're getting to Storm. Storm is on the way. Charge on the way. As I spoke earlier about how the big power strike for Bunny comes in with his third base, here it comes. He's got his massive amount of Marine, Marauder. Storm is barely not ready in time. Bunny, he could try to hit strike before Storm. Ah, but too late. Yeah, too late. 5 seconds away. Storm is done. Clem has it with Storm. He will shut this down. Oh my god, he shut it down completely. The Marines, they take the Storm to the face, and Bunny has to get the hell out of here. The second Storm, lackluster, doesn't quite connect. But Bunny has to back off. He does miss the timing. Again, he could have hit maybe a couple of seconds sooner, but outside of that, to Clem, he shuts this down, he defends, and Bunny has to get the hell out of here. And Bunny has to race back home. Clem, he's just going to keep on pushing. He has momentum. Why not? Ooh, snipes a medevac. Medevac goes down. Clem moving in. And he still has another Storm in the chamber. Nice spread here by Bunny. The boys are being pulled. Storms, they still connect though. Oh, they shut down the SCVs. They shut down the bio. And Clem is going for the kill. Here he's trying to go for the kill. Zealots, they have arrived. Another Storm lands. And Clem, he will break the third base. Again, there's no bunker set up. If you recall earlier, there was no factory set up either, so no tanks. Widow mines are trickling in. GG gets called, and Clem, he will take a 2-0 lead in the series. He will break Bunny and is 1 game away from claiming the series. GG. Whew, GG, well played again, Clem. He popped off. Storm finished up just in time, or I should say Bunny, he hit just a little bit too late there. It looked like he could maybe hit before Storm, but even then Storm would finish in the middle of the fight. I should emphasize that as well. And with that, he was able to shut down Bunny. Bunny took the Storm to the face, lost all the Marines almost instantly, and Clem just snowballed out of control. GG. GG, well played. Whew. With that, Clem only needs one more game here to claim the series, and we're going to be loading into Gresvan. It's been a couple of years. For those who remember, Gresvan was in the map pool. Does anyone remember? I want to say like 2022? Maybe early 2023? It hasn't been that long. But a couple of years ago, Gresvan was in the map pool, so it's been quite some time, and now we're bringing it back for this tournament. Again, tournaments, they've become a lot more flexible when it comes to their tournament map pools, when it comes to implementing some older maps and even some newer maps that never really got to be featured. So really cool to see this more varied map pool here for this tournament. Nice to see Gresvan once again. It's been a while. I thought we were promised a longer game. I assumed so as well. Like we were building up into. We built up into 3 bases, but no, everything just fell apart from there. How's it not cheating to switch up a race like that? I think there was already a response, but Clem, once you lock in a race, you're stuck with it for the series. So Clem, he picked Protoss, he cannot switch out. Like, he cannot switch to Terran or to Zerg or anything. Like, he's playing Protoss for the series. He's committed. But here we go, spawning in the top left hand corner. We have our French Protoss player. With the French Protoss, we have the red Protoss representing Team Liquid, leading the series 2-0. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Falcons, down heavily in the series. Can he bounce back, and can he make a series out of this? It is Bunny. Here we go. Here we go as we get into our PVT. Just catching in chat. Raynor used to off race as Toss a lot. I don't think we got to say this. I think we did mention it during the cast. But Raynor, he played Group A of this tournament. Raynor, he played. And fun fact, he actually wanted to play Protoss. He wanted to play Protoss in that group. But I just mentioned something that stopped him from playing Protoss. And that is the fact that he had to commit to playing it for the entire series. He didn't quite want to. He was like, he's like, guys, I just want to play like 1 or 2 games of Protoss. Like, no. you gotta commit. He didn't want to commit back. He didn't want to commit. Smurge. Specifically, that was Raynor's series against Shin, I believe, in the ZVZ. He wanted to avoid ZVZ and play Protoss, but in the end did decide to stick to Zerg. That was a couple of days ago. Traditionally 1 race for a tournament. That is not true. It's not the case. Hasn't been for a long time. Unless you're talking about like 10 years ago, maybe? No, even then, that's not true, right? Like, you had Scarlet off racing as Protoss back in MLG. I don't think there's ever been a rule set where you had to play a race for the entire tournament. I don't think that's ever existed. Here we go. Here we go. We're getting into our next game. Here we do have a more economic start out of our Terran player. And this time we see Clem going for a safer build. Remember, last game, what did Clem go for? He went 2 Blink. 2 Blink to a third. A very greedy build, which honestly really worked quite well against the greedy start of Bunny, as he was keeping up with the greed of his opponent. Here, safer build. Safer start as we're going 3 Blink instead. So Clem going for a delayed third base compared to the last game. Meanwhile, Bunny moving with his Hellions. Scarlet beat DRG in a PVZ in 2014. Yes, that was what I mentioned. It was back in MLG. Was it MLG Anaheim? I know it was in the Americas. In America. Always remember. Cats and Day 9 were cast in that series. It's crazy. As Bunny does go for a committed mine drop this time, we have 4 Widow Mines here in the medevac. Diving into the main. Does go for the dive and is barely not going to be shut down. Whew, does get away. Widow Mines do burrow. And so far, Clem splits well. Okay, splits well. Targets down 2 of those mines before they fight. Oh my god, what? 1 shot goes off. He loses 1 probe. 1 probe goes down for 4 Widow Mines. Ay, that was brutal. So very nice control there by Clem. He does focus on most of those mines. Medevac does barely survive, just barely, but that was not worth it for Bunny. To lose 4 mines for a single probe. With that, Clem now he can counterattack, he can move out. Back at home, what do we have to work with? Bunny going for his own 2-1-1, soon to be 3-1-1 setup. He thankfully does have 2 tanks, but for those who remember, Gressfarm, what was this map known for? 4-gate blink. Why? Look how massive the main is. You can blink into the main and just walk around the edge and just avoid the tank. Like this base, oh sorry, I should say this era of map pool was known for 4-gate blink Stalker. That's when Max was in his prime. Speaking of, yep, Stalkers, they can go behind the gas geysers if they so choose to. It's just such a massive main base. Oh, blinks in. Bolt move. Takes down the tank. Tank goes down. They don't make bases like this anymore. Jesus. Now, thankfully for Bunny, it wasn't 4-gate blink. It was only 3-gate blink Stalker into a third base. But this is when Max was in his prime, like going 4-gate blink every game. Those are also dark times in their own way. That was a lot of 4-gate plan. Banshee does hit the main, not bad. No cloak. No cloak, but 3 probe kills does cause a distraction. As Bunny's not out of this, not by any means. Moving out with more drops. Here, does move out. And despite the vision for Clem, he does miss that drop. He's got the Observer here at the ramp. Stalker outside of the natural. Does have spotter pylons. We'll see how fast he reacts. Clem distracted. Boosting into the main base. Stalker's a reactive. Remember, the Banshee's still in the corner. And Bunny, he commits. And this drop should be dealt with. Nice dodge. Yeah, nice dodge. Takes out one of the Medivacs. Oh, the other does escape. And the main army's moving in. The Colossus are ready, though. The Colossus in position. Bunny, he doesn't find a way in. As behind this time, no Storm. Colossus instead. The Bay is done. We have the 3rd Colossus on the way. A more traditional composition. Very in line with Gressfarm. Very... the nostalgia, baby. The nostalgia. And it's time to counterattack. I don't see Bunny holding this, to be honest. Bunny, he's lost so much. He's trying to get his 3rd base on location, but Clem is here to knock it down. Even without Colossus, yeah, tank falls, mine shots are decent. They shut down the Zealots at least, but here come the Colossi. Third base is cancelled, and Clem is here to make it through the group stage. Did stumble a little bit against Rogue in that pseudo base trade, but here against Bunny, Clem is looking comfortable, looking confident. Boys are being pulled. Production was dealt with. Rid of force fields. Slowing down the army. Colossus, they kite back. It's a lot of lasers. It's a lot of lasers, Pappy. And GG gets called. The writing is on the wall, and Clem, he will take the series at 3-0, advancing on out of the group in first place. GG. GG, well played, Clem. He is out in first place. He makes it through Bunny here 3-0, and also makes it through Rogue 2-1. Again, had a more back and forth kind of against Rogue. I say kind of just because the game that Rogue won was a crazy kind of pseudo early base trade where Clem was maybe overconfident and did overextend. But here, Clem looking very, very comfortable, does take the 3-0. Now, if you're a Bunny fan, do not worry, do not fret. Bunny, he's still in the group, he's still in the tournament. Bunny is going to be knocked down to the decider match. He's going to be knocked down to the decider match, as you can see here, bam, as we can head on over to our matchups. Exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is live, of course, over on the Wikipedia. You can see here that Bunny did just go down. That is true, but Bunny, he's waiting for the winner of Solar and Rogue. We have a mirror matchup ahead of us here, Solar versus Rogue, to determine who's going to be the first out of the group. Out in terms of out of the tournament, as this is the elimination match. Oh boy. So Solar versus Rogue is going to be coming up next, and that's EVZ. We're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have another best of 5. Remember, best of 5s from here on out, moving forward. Purely best of 5s. Let's go. Did Clem play Protoss versus Rogue as well? Clem, he only plays Protoss to avoid TBT. Just bear that in mind. Only to avoid TBT. Recently that has changed. I should emphasize that as well. Recently has changed in the sense that Clem, he has played a couple of games of PvP, but he has not played a full series. I want to say there's been like maybe 3 or 4 different tournaments where in the finals or in the semifinals, Clem, he has played Protoss against Protoss, but it's only like 1 or 2 games. Like it's very sporadic. It's been very sporadic. We've yet to see like a proper like full series of Protoss out of Clem for PvP specifically. But for now, we're going to be going on a break. And when we come back, we'll have our next series. When we come back, we'll have that ZVZ. See you soon. See you soon. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Maestros of the game, the round of 16 group stage, Group C. We, of course, just spent the last 2 days wrapping up Group A and Group B. Now we're here halfway through to determine, more than halfway through, to determine the first player to be eliminated from this group. We already have Clem advancing on in first place. To be expected, Clem did come in as the heavy favorite, but who is going to be out first and who can make it through alongside Clem out of the group into the playoffs? Oh boy, here we go, we're here to find out. Up next, we have our ZVZ between Rogue and Solar. As a reminder, best of 5 mirror matchup, and I always look forward to Rogue's ZVZs, to be honest. I mean, Rogue and Solar, they're typically both hyper aggressive. Rogue has some quirky builds and some cheeky plays in ZVZ as well. I always remember, what was it, at the beginning of the year when we casted Rogue versus Shin, with Rogue going for not just crazy 12 or 13 12s, 12 pools, going for hidden spires, even hidden with creep in corners of the map. Some crazy nonsense. Like some hidden spire play. I'm ready for it. I'm excited. Give us some more ZVZ, because it's honestly a really rare matchup. I took note of this not too long ago, but we cast ZVZ maybe like once a month, if that. For those who don't know, for those that are maybe tuning in for the first time, we cast StarCraft daily here. We cast StarCraft more than any other channel out there. This is our, again, this is our second cast of the day as well. We cast all the StarCraft, and ZVZs are a rare sight nowadays. They're quite rare, so I appreciate them whenever we can have them, and whenever we can, papi. Keep. As our players are getting ready, and we will soon be jumping into that first game. Vetoes are done. As you can see here, we have Tokamak, Persephone, Sandworm, Maganatha, and Incorporeal. Interesting lineup of maps here. We have, for the most part, gotten rid of most of the smaller maps. There's going to be no Ultra Love, there's going to be no Pylon, so a lot of the smaller maps have been removed. We have Sandworm. That's probably, I would say, the most aggressive map in this map pool. Maybe Persephone as well. Outside of that, larger maps are going to be played out. And here we go. We're loading into Tokamak. You can hear the beeps. Also, I just realized we have non-stop team kills. True. Rogue, Solar, and Bunny. All 3 of them are all on Team Falcons. So, the Team Falcon team kill. Aye. Only one. Only one of the 3 can make it through. So wide awake. True. That's another X factor here as well. It is 4 a.m. in the morning. It's 4 a.m. in the morning here in South Korea. So, it's a brutal time, and not all the Koreans are used to playing at this hour. Not used to going full degen, so that's also going to be a bit of a factor as well. But here we go. We're diving into our first game, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have our South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the other South Korean Zerg player, also representing Team Falcons, the Blue Zerg. It is Solar. God, there are so many plushies in the background. Let's go, papi, let's go. As Rogue, he opens up with the gold. And this is what we spoke about at the very start of the series. As we were getting into this, I was talking about how Rogue is typically very quirky and very stylish in his ZVZ. I was emphasizing 12 pools, 13 12s, hidden spires with Drop a Lord spreading creep in the corner of the map, or even here rushing into the hybrid gold base. Double hatch before, oh, this is crazy. double hatch before pool, before gas, before anything else. This is insane greed out of Rogue. Oh boy, he should not get away with this. He should not get away with it, but we'll see if Solar ever does confirm. So far, hatch, gas, pool, standard opener out of Solar. But again, Rogue, he's being a little bit more quirky here in his play. I say standard opener. Yeah, it does pull in. Okay, it does pull into gas, so saturate. So standard gas timing, boys are being pulled to saturate. Does the Overlord scout this? It won't. Yeah, the Overlord will miss this in the end. The drones, they barely do slip by. You can see him hugging the edge of the map as well to make sure that the Overlord does not confirm. And with that, Rogue, he will saturate the gold. Let's go. Let us go. The gold base is getting up and running. The Overlord Scout will dip in. Now, what does he see? He sees late hatchery. He sees, comparing it to his own, hatchery is delayed, which means there's a higher chance that it was going to be a pool or a gas before hatchery, and this might force more defensive play out of Solar. We know that it wasn't a pool or gas, it was a hatchery before hatchery. He's moving out. Moving out to scouts, moving out to confirm. He sees, he does see the creep. He knows, he sees the creep. Baliness instantly thrown down. Hyper aggression out of Solar. Solar, he's here to punish the build. Now, because of the boosted economy, Rogue can set up not just queens, spine crawlers. If we can set up some spine crawlers here in time, he can pull off a defense. But Rogue, he responds, sorry, Solar, he responds with an all-in. He's not droning. He's not droning. The links are hidden, they get found. Things are found out. Ooh, better trade for Solar, better positioning. Solar, he does our trade. Lings, they're flooding across the map. And we'll see if Solar can punish. Pressure is on. Ooh, Solar, calm down, Jesus. Out trades once again, gets another Zergling. Gets a Ling, Baliness is done. Here we go, 2 Balings are morphing in. Morphing in 4 in total. Rogue getting his own defensive Baliness. No spine crawler here at the gold. This is a little bit greedy. Rogue, he can afford it. He could afford it. Oh no! Bailey's done. Does graze the army. Bailey does graze. The Lings, they're going for the queen. No Bailey's ready for Rogue. Good connections. Yeah, Bailey's, they shut down the Lings. Lings are being shut down. GG gets called, and Solar, he will scout, he will punish, and Solar starts off with a win. Whew. GG. Hi, GG, well played. Solar, he does take a lead here in the series. Again, I'm a little bit surprised that Rogue, again, he had excess minerals. He wasn't doing anything with that, though. Again, he got scattered. Thankfully, Solar, his Overlord, did veer off to the right-hand side. It did get a glimpse of the creep, so he was fully aware, and Solar's response was Bane Bust. Was just go for the Ling Bane all in. Was punished, and was able to pull it off. GG, well played. With that, Solar, he does start things off with the lead here. We'll see if Rogue can bounce back and recover. We'll see if Solar can extend his lead. Also, Rogue, stay with us. And if you saw, Rogue, he's falling asleep, Pappy. Stay with us. It's okay, Pappy. It's okay. Stay with us, Rogue. Again, it's 4 a.m. It's 4 a.m. in South Korea, so it's not ideal for all players. Time for some coffee. Crack open a hot 6. Let's go. Prime gaming hours. Prime D-Gen hours. True. Here we go. Hard to take advantage of the gold without lava. True, that's why we were trying to emphasize stack defense, like getting spine coolers up and running to make use of those minerals, to make use of that setup. Last didn't have any of that, of course. I'm sure partially just because Rogue didn't know how committed Solar was. But here we go. Now we're getting into game number 2. What is the device behind Rogue? I think it's an air purifier, or maybe a humidifier, or maybe both. Like that is my assumption. But here we go. We're getting into our next game. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg down in the series. We'll see if you can bounce back. We'll see if you can make a series out of this. It is Rogue. And spawning in the top side of Persephone, we have the blue Zerg player also on Team Falcons. He has a lead in the series. Can he extend that lead? It is Solar. Here we go. So calming down as we are settling in. So far, hatch first. Okay. This time, the hatchery is where it should be. There is another gold base that you can try to rush into, so I'm sure that in the back of Solar's mind, he's like, yo, there's no shot this guy took the gold base again. There's a chance, but as we can see, standard opener this time out of Rogue. We're calming down. Hatch gas pool out of Rogue, hatch gas pool out of Solar. Everything looking normal for the time being. We'll try to keep up. But I don't blame people for being curious, because it looks like, am I crazy? It looks like there's like a magnifying glass, right? Like like the lid of the purifier at the top. It's like, maybe it's a light. You can it's like a 6-in-1. It purifies the air, it humidifies, it gives you lights, does your taxes, got an alarm. It's like there's a lot going on with that device. There's a lot happening. Lives in a science lab. Exactly. As from here, nothing too crazy. We're getting to link speed. You can see that Ro16 pulls one out of gas in the main. Likewise, so does Solar. This is standard. You just pull one out. You don't need excess gas early on. From here, we take a third base. We get into a safety Baneliness, and we get into a 3-base setup with Ling Bane. So far, this is as standard gets in ZVZ. So far, so good. There are some players that do skip their Baneliness and try to rush into Roaches. It is very risky to do so, and we can see that neither player is skipping Banelings. So Baneliness out of Rogue, Baneliness out of Solar. From here, we can then try to hide an Evo Chamber. Solar is very fond of going into an Evo Chamber, into early +1 Carapace, into a Ling Roach all-in. So that's going to be in the back of my mind for some point in this series for Solar to commit. Likewise, we'll keep an eye on early Evo Chambers in general here, early Roach Horns, hidden Roach Horns as well, or massive Ling Floods. Otherwise, we should just drone up, saturate, then get into Roach versus Roach. We do have 10 Lings on the way here for Rogue, so he will have an influx of Lings early on. With this, he can apply more pressure. As he hides 2 Lings, these can morph into Banelings. Meanwhile, we have the earlier Roach Horn out of Solar. So Solar, he's the first attack. Here we go, defensive Banelings on the way. Ooh, the scouting Lings on the right-hand side, they get caught. They get scattered. Rogue trying to be active. Behind this is droning up, getting to his own Roach Horn slightly later. No one went for an early Evo Chamber. Oh. As we don't want to waste the Banelings. Lings, they go for a scout. They check behind the mineral line. As we mentioned before, we can see that there's no Evo Chamber, but Rogue confirms. Yeah, he confirms no hidden Evo Chamber. He confirms no extra gases, no faster lair. Rogue can play comfortably. Solar is in the dark. For all Solar knows, there could be some hidden tech. Solar does move out. Moves out, spots a queen. Roach production has begun. Rogue, he's not getting a lair. Okay, first big sign of deviation. We have a lair for Solar. Rogue, he might just turn this into a hatch-based all-in, as his lair is quite delayed. Roaches are banking. We have more Roaches on the way. Roaches that get scattered, and Rogue, he's not droning. Rogue, he's not droning up his third base, he's going for the all-in. So this is a 2-base Roach Ling all-in. I say 2-base because his natural base is undersaturated. 39 drones, 39 workers in total. No saturation at the third. Let's go. So it's all or nothing for Rogue. Solar, he's aware. Back at home, we have spine crawlers on the way. We have Roaches on the way. It's going to be 2 spine crawlers here at the third. Banelings, they cannot be wasted. It goes both ways. Checking the army supply here, we have an equivalent Roach count, and we have Queens to transfuse. So far, nice connection. Yeah, Solar, he connects, he shuts down the Lings. Roaches, they pull away. We have rough position here for Solar. Spine Coolers repositioning. Banelings waddling in. That's going to be a lot of Roaches going down. Does land 1 transfuse. And with the help of the Spine Crawlers, Solar, he holds. Solar, he should be able to hold on here. He pulls back to another Spine Crawler. Again, transfused once again on another Roach. And Rogue, he's running out of steam. Rogue, he's running out of steam here. Again, so crucial that Solar, he saw this ahead of time. Remember, he scouted the Roaches here with his Ling as the army was moving out. It allowed Solar to finish up his Spine Crawlers, and with that, Solar, he does defend. And Rogue is falling behind. Rogue is falling behind. Remember, what did he skip? Lair. No lair whatsoever. So roach speed, it can begin here for, actually, never mind. Solar, he canceled the lair to defend. So it doesn't have the lead that I thought he would have, but despite that, still lairs in production. Rogue going for the second wave. You can see here that Rogue has drones, but he's been transferring. He's been transferring workers over. You can see here he still has 10 out of 16, so he transfers to make it look like he's droning. He's not. He's not droning up. He's going for a second wave, a secondary all-in. And he's hoping that Solar sees this and Solar drones. I mean, Solar, he already droned up. Jesus. Like, he already has a half-saturated third base. So Rogue, he's hoping that Solar's too greedy, and that he gets caught with his pants down. That's the hope, at least. As here comes that second wave. Looking at this here, I mean, Solar, he has 20 roaches. I mean, that's a lot of Zerglings. True, that's going to be a lot of Zerglings, and I don't see any defensive Banelings, not yet. 2 Banelings are on the way. The Banelings are going to be crucial. Lings move in, going for the piles, and piles, they don't connect. Banelings, they just not finish. Massive connection. Lings are going down, and without Zerglings, they're not going to lock down the army. With that Solar, he's holding. Solar, he should be able to hold on. He avoids most of the piles. Catching out the Ravagers. I say that, Rogue, can he get on top of the Queens? Trying to get on top of the production. The boys are being pulled. And Solar, he should hold here. Yeah, takes out the final roaches. Oh. 7 drones go down, but Solar, he can afford to lose them. And he shuts down the army for the second time. Getting an intense hold. Very intense. With this, +1 is finishing up in 10 seconds, and Solar, he can start roach speed. He can start roach speed. He still has a higher drone count, still has more saturation. Still has a better setup. Oh. Meanwhile, Rogue, he's getting ready for wave 3. He's now Solar shouldn't push. He should not move out. Solar, he's very vulnerable to a Lynx round because he has no defensive Banelings, right? He has no Banelings. Banelings are actually ideal here to protect Solar against this, against just a mass Lynx around. So Rogue, ideally, he wants Solar to push out into the open. Defensively, even without Banelings, Solar, he should be okay if he can kite back. As Rogue's goal is to surround the army, then Bile. Speaking of, does come in for the surround. Biles, they do somewhat connect to add a bit of friendly fire. Yeah, mainly friendly fire. Roaches, they kite back. They don't get surrounded. GG gets caught, and Solar, he shuts down the all-in, and Solar takes a 2-0 lead. Whew, GG. Solar, he does take a 2-0 lead here again. An interesting build out of Rogue. Rogue, remember, he cut workers at 39. He cut workers at 39. He didn't drone up his third base. He went for a Ling Roach all-in, or a Ling Roach, sorry, Ling Bane Roach Ravager all-in. But Solar, he was barely able to scout in time. If you remember, he did with his Zerglings scout the Roaches as he moved out from the natural. Instantly, he threw down the Spine Crawlers, and he was able to pull off that defense. Did have to cancel the lair to pull off the defense, but despite that, like, he had an economic lead. Despite that, was still far ahead. GG. GG. With that, we are now up at 2-0. I'll fix up the out-of-game score. There we go. We're up 2-0, and the pressure's on Rogue. The pressure is on. One more loss, and he is out of the tournament. Up next, we're loading into Sandworm. Sandworm will have a shorter rush distance by ground. Aggression can be more favored here, but this goes both ways. We've seen, for the most part, Solar has had to be the defender, has had to respond and react to Rogue. At the same time, Solar, he can also be aggressive if he wants to be as well. If he wants to be, he can be the aggressor. Let's go. Este Rogue. Third wave, too much, right? I mean, you can't macro out of that, is the problem. Like, Rogue, he was on 40 drones, he had no lair, he had no Evo chamber, he had no tech. Like, it's either he goes for the third wave or he just taps out at that point. Again, there's a reason why it's called an all-in, right? Once it fails, like, you can't really macro out of it, unless you deal critical damage. If you don't kill your opponent, but if you cripple them, then sure, you can start to drone. But if you fail to do any economic damage, then what can you do? What can you do? Basically, the hope there for Rogue was that Solar overextends or is maybe overly greedy. Like, you're hoping that the opponent makes a mistake at that point, right? You're hoping that your opponent is too greedy, techs up, drones up, takes a base, and gets caught out. It happens. It does happen from time to time, where a player is overconfident. But here we go. Here we go. We're getting into game number 3 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Sandworm. We have the red Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg for Team Falcons, heavily behind in the series. We have to fight back here and now to have a chance, an ace match to make it through into the next round. It is Rogue. And spawning in the top side of Sandworm, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. One game away from claiming the series. Let's go. Let us go. As we do have an earlier gas here from Rogue. Interesting. Only slightly, maybe not the biggest of deals, but the gas geyser is going to be a little bit earlier here. We can see Rogue, he pulls out, he pulls in, he prioritizes gas mining. Okay, this feels very intentional. Very intentional here as he does prioritize that gas, so he will have earlier link speed. So there's going to be a slightly earlier link speed timing here for Rogue. You have my attention. I'm most curious to see if he pulls out of gas or if he stays in. If he stays in, he could go for a Link Bane all in. So we'll see if he does mine more than 100. Ah, he pulls out. Okay, so link speed is on the way. He does pull out. But there is a small window in time where he will have link speed over his opponents. We'll see if it matters. Otherwise, we're just droning, we're just saturating. Also, welcome to Sandworm. Sandworm is a map that was in TLMC 20, the most recent Team Liquid map contest, and it did make it to the finals. I actually remember voting for it. I did vote for Sandworm, but in the end, it did not make it into the ladder map pool. Didn't make it in, but was a really popular map at the time, as all the online tournaments were featuring, you know, Sandworm, Ultra, sorry, not Ultra, Sandworm, Persephone, or the other maps, of course. Killer Smile. Killer Smile. Yeah, that one. As we are going for the link flood. So here we go. We have 16 links on the way. So now we see that there was purpose here for link speed. We're flooding across the map as we speak. We do see link speed finishing up a little bit later here for Solar. Banelings are on the way. And will they be done in time? As Rogue is committing. He is committing into this. Queens, they move out. This comes down to the Banelings. Oh! As Banelings do pop out just in time. So far going to be zoning Rogue away. Rogue's zone Banelings almost done. Almost finished. Yeah, just now finishing up. Rogue raised it. Oh no! Oh, massive connection! Yeah, massive connections here. Solar runs into the Banelings. And now we can go. Send it, Pappy, send it. Up. It still comes down to the Baneling control. Nice target firing. Ooh. Yeah, Solar, he bleeds out too much. 0 Banelings left. Rogue, he can go for it. Dives on the Banelings, gets 1, gets almost 2. And with that 0 Banelings left, and Rogue, he will overwhelm. He shuts down the Lings, the Banelings, the Queens, the everything, and it looks like we will make a series out of this. It's not going to be one-sided. It's not going to be a 3-0. Oh, the hatchery is so low. Get the hatchery. There we go. Oh no! No shot. No shot. There we go. Does get it towards the end. Hatchery goes down. And behind this, Rogue has his own. He has his own base, of course. Rogue has his own third. Still flooding across the map. Rogue is not droning, by the way. He's still not droning, still just making nothing but Zerglings. And it looks like he may still be able to overwhelm. It is risky. Surrounds a queen. And it gets one of the queens. The Lings get turned away. Oh, another disconnections. Yeah, likewise, I can say the same for Solar. As Banes they make their way into the middle line, GG gets called, and Rogue, he will overwhelm. He will take game number 3. We have a series. GG. Whew, we do have a series here. Rogue, he does fight back. Again, Sandworm, I would say, is the smallest map out of the current maps listed here for this series, so this is where you can be more aggressive. On top of that, we saw that Rogue, he did have the slightly earlier link speed timing. He just flooded across the map, and it all came down to the unit control between our two players. Solo took a massive bailing to the face. With that, he bled out all his lings, which means he couldn't defend his queens, couldn't protect his base. Everything just very quickly snowballed out of control. GG. GG, well played. The comeback has begun. The comeback has begun, as up next we're going to be loading into Maganatha, the largest map in the map pool. It's a very large map. It's on maps like this where I do lean a little bit more towards more defensive play, but what I will say as well is that every game so far, Rogue has done something different. He's gone for different forms of aggression, different forms of all-in. Hasn't been the same. Coming into Maganatha, do we see 2-base play? True. We haven't seen any of that yet. But 2-base play into 2-base lair, into 2-base muta, things of that nature can be effective on some of these larger maps. We'll see. We shall see. Reverse sweep? Oh, calm down. We're on the way, Pappy. We're on the way. What happens if you neural a drone? You neural a drone. You just get a drone. What do you mean? I see something. Rogue has an LG Puricare 360. There you go. That's amazing. Hold on. No, yeah, you're not wrong. That's what. Anyway, let's get into this. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the. I love the detail of finding that out. We have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg leading the series 2-1, representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Red Zerg player. Oh my god, going for a pool first opener, rocking that LG Puricare 360. It is Rogue. Purify that air. That honestly, wait, is that 2 360s on top of each other? Because I just googled it. No, okay. Yo, we're stacking purifiers, mate. Great, let's go. Purify the purified air. Let's go. As from here, again, we have the early pool timing from Rogue, so early aggression is going to be available here. Bearing in mind, we are opening up gasless. True. No gases, so no link speed, no banelings, early links, that is true, but we are foregoing gas as a result, and we'll see how Rogue does piece all this together here. Back at home, standard opener out of Solar. Hatch gas pool. Hatch gas pool. You have 6 lings on the way. Rogue is moving out. Just catching up. And also, thank you so much to I stand in the chat. Thank you so much for the gifted sub. Gifted sub to Niven. Thank you. Gracias, gracias. Ahí está. Papi. As Rogue is moving out. He does move out with his early lings. Here he's looking for any economic damage. No drones with the natural. With good enough unit control, Solar, he should not lose any drones. Oh, one of them gets low. One does get low, denies some mining. One drone does not yet to go down. Nice defense and Solar defense. Yeah, Solar he defends. The queens are out, and Solar he does hold on. Doesn't lose a single drone. A very nice defense. With that, Solar he will take an economic lead. Behind this, we have Link Speed on the way, of course, with the gas. And Rogue just now mining his own gas is going to be a little bit further behind when it comes to Link Speed and when it comes to Banelings, which means Rogue should be stuck on 2 bases. We spoke earlier about 2-base play. Rogue, he should be stuck on 2 bases. Basically, if Rogue tries to expand, he should lose it. He should not be able to save a 3rd base, not without Link Speed, not without that gas income. Not without that setup. Baneling Nest on the way for Solar. And Solar can freely expand. And as we mentioned, yeah, Rogue, he has to wall up. He has to wall up on 2 bases. From here, if he cancelled Link Speed, we could go into a faster lair and go into 2-base Muta. Otherwise, it looks like 2-base Roach. 2-base Roach out of Rogue. As he's fully walling up, and Solar takes a 3rd. Again, as we mentioned, without Link Speed, without Banelings, there's no way for Rogue to expand. So he cannot take a 3rd base. So from here, he is trapped. We are going for a Link Flood. Okay, this can work. So basically, winding it back a little bit here. In this situation, Solar, he knows that Rogue opened up gasless. He knows that Rogue is on 2 bases. And typically in this situation, Rogue wouldn't finish Link Speed. There's no reason to, right? Because you want to go into Roaches. Link Speed finishing here is a surprise, which means Solar, he has no Banelings ready. This Link Flood could actually work, as Solar's not quite prepared for this sort of thing. And here we go. Link Flood is moving out. So he spots it. He needs Banelings. He needs Banelings as quickly as possible. He's racing back home. Banelings, they are morphing in. Can they morph in time? As Rogue, he's all in. He's all in, flooding across the map. We have +1 Carapace on the way. 16 more Zerglings as well. Again, he was faking Roaches. He was faking. Banelings are done. Ooh, 1 connects. Yeah, 1 does connect so far. Solid connection. And as you can see, morphing in Banelings, all you need. These Lings are running out of steam. They're running out of steam, running out of momentum. 1 queen gets surrounded. The queen survives? Okay. The queen does survive. And Rogue, the longer this goes on, the worse it is for Rogue. Roach production has begun. Taking more gases. Rogue, remember, he's stuck on 2 bases. Rogue, he attempts to expand, but as we mentioned before, without Link Bane, he shouldn't be able to hold on to this. Soul's backing up. So he does back off, does pull away. And Soul, he already has an economic lead anyway. He's on 44 workers. Over time, he will just outscale Rogue. He will outscale. Behind this, thankfully, Solar, he was making Roaches, and he surrounds. He can just chase us down. He surrounds the Roaches. Banelings, they zone away the Zerglings, and brutal losses here for Rogue. Losses he can't quite afford. He's trying to drone up, trying to saturate. So is Solar. Purification commencing. I love it. I love it. Let's go. Now, from here, the game is slowing down. We're slowing things down. Solar does maintain a lead moving forward here, as he has been up in workers this entire time. Likewise, up in upgrades. We have +2 on the way for Solar. Meanwhile, Rogue is working on +1. So Solar has a comfortable lead. Now, there are ways to recover in this kind of scenario here. If Rogue can pull his opponent apart, pull apart his attention, I should say, go for run-bys, go for counterattacks, slip into bases, go for drop lord play, going for a Tunneling Claw roach timing, for example, going into mutas. Like, there are some ways to try to be cheeky, but the pressure's on Rogue to do something out of the norm. Ooh. As he's going to be bleeding out a lot of lings here. A lot of Zergans do go down. Not the best trades from Rogue. Plus one Carapace does help as he can tank a Baneling shot. And he's pushing. Yeah, Rogue, he's cutting workers. He's not joining up his third base. He's going to be cutting at 55. That is under 3 base saturation. And he's committing. He's just purely committing here. It's all or nothing. Solar, he's supply blocked. Uh-oh. Brutal supply block. We have 6 overlords on the way. Now is not the time. And Solar trying to keep up. Has still plenty of roaches. And Rogue, he is running out of steam here. He is running out of roaches. Solar has plenty. Queens, they come in to defend. GG gets called. Solar shuts down the aggression, and Solar will take the series 3-1, advancing on to the decider match. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Solar. He will claim the series. Hyper aggression out of Rogue. Rogue, he went for a different all-in every single game. And hey, at times it worked. At times did end up working. Other times not so much. And in the end, Solar, he survived the aggression that is Rogue. GG. GG, well played. Solar will claim it. My condolences to Rogue, as Rogue, he is the first player out, eliminated from the group, I should emphasize. Of course, Clem, he's already made it through into the playoffs. Rogue, he has been limited from Maestros of the game. My condolences to Rogue, he's an amazing player, but his reward is he gets to go to sleep. gets to go to sleep. Now it can be purified. Let's go. Let's go. And congratulations to Solar as we're getting ready for our next series here. Remember, Bunny has been patiently waiting this entire time, maybe even had a nap. Hopefully not, because that was a short series. So hopefully he's ready, as up next is going to be Solar versus Bunny. There we go. Just catching up in the chat. Do you think Rogue has truly lost his mid and late game expertise that we knew him to have? Not at all. I would say that Rogue is still known for that in the other matchups. If you watch Rogue in Zerg versus Terran and in Zerg versus Protoss, I would say that that is still where he thrives in the late game, more so than the mid game, to be honest. But like in the late game, or yeah, like mid game, mid to late game is kind of where he thrives in the most, especially with Mass Lurker Nidus play in both versus Protoss and versus Terran. But ZVZ is very different. It's a very different, much more chaotic matchup here. And Rogue is, I would say, more known for being hyper aggressive and hyper cheeky in the ZVZ matchup instead. Just different styles, different matchups. Just catching up. I have 2 from Levoit. They're great and cheap. But let's go. I just got a Phillips. Purify is a sign that Rogue will switch to Protoss. True. I think Solar knows what kind of player Rogue is. I think everyone does. Like, especially all the Koreans, like Solar, Shin, all the other Koreans out there. They're familiar. They play quite a lot. But with that, we are going to be going on a short break. With that, we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, when we return, we will be returning with that decider match, a rematch between Bunny and Solar. As you can see, they already played off at the beginning of the broadcast. Now it's time for Solar to have a chance to get his revenge, to redeem himself here in this ZVT matchup, because that was a fast best of 3 earlier. Like, Bunny had a quick 2-0 over Solar. Can Solar fight back? We'll find out after the break. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the final series of the broadcast. The final series here of the Maestros of the game, round of 16, group stage, group C. It's been an intense day of StarCraft already. The sun is literally rising in front of my eyes. It is 6 a.m. in the morning here, or 7 minutes to 6 a.m. in the morning here in Australia. The sun is rising. We've been live all night, and now it's time to end the night, to end the broadcast with one final best of 5. The winner of this series will advance on into the playoffs. Clem is already there waiting in said playoffs. One of these two will join him, as again the playoffs will be conducted and will be beginning in a couple of weeks time, next week even, next week. Oh boy, as we have non-stop StarCraft. Of course, this event does lead into the end of tournament finals, which will be taking place in Paris, in France. In Paris, papi. Let's go. And of course, a big shout out to CranKy TV, and all those working behind the scenes for funding this event, for organizing the event, of course, for crowdfunding the event as well. Thank you so much to the community, of course, to the French community and to the community at large for making this event a reality. Here we go. We're jumping into that final best of 5. And this morning, in the top left-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran, also representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our best of 5 TVZ. Also, as a reminder, this is a rematch. These two already faced off at the beginning of the broadcast, the very first series of this broadcast, and Bunny did take it 2-0. A very strong, very dominant showing out of Bunny. For those that are curious, someone asked earlier in the chat. I did give a brief response. In that previous series, game 1, Bunny did go for a Marauder Hellbat. Timing went for a 1-1-1. Solar, he was going for a greedy build. He was cutting corners. He was going into a lair, into double Evo chamber, into double upgrades. He was droning. He was caught with his pants down, and the game did end then and there. Game 2 was a little bit more of a back and forth to get into a longer game state. Bunny was able to force a cancel on the 4th base twice, and then he was able to just snowball out of control with the Atrax. He had an Atrax follow-up. I believe it was on this map. Actually, I can just double check. True. Can just double check. Yes, it was on Maganatha. So it was on this very map where Bunny, he was able to shut down the 4th base a couple of times, gain momentum, and then pop off with the Atrax and shut Solar down, as Solar was trying to build up and tech up and get into a longer game state. So it was a very fast series, to be honest. But now we're getting into that rematch. Since then, Solar's had time to ruminate, has had time to, think over this series, have a different approach, and potentially redeem himself. Regardless of how this goes, I would hope to see not a 3-0, whether it's a 3-1 or a 3-2 in either direction. I hope to see more of a back and forth. At least I hope. Give us some more games, papi. Give 3cc. Back at home, 3rd CC before starport. Economic build here at a Bunny. No crazy 1-1-1, no crazy Hellbat push or Hellbat timing. None of that. At least not in game 1 of our fresh series. Catching up. Oh, that's where they put the sun. Ah, true. Sent it to Australia. As for now, Bunny pokes in, Bunny pulls away. No major commitments. Likewise, Solo pulls out of gas. Just hatch gas, pull into a 3rd base. Everything's looking normal. Everything's looking standard so far from both Solar and from Bunny. We'll keep an eye out for any kind of big deviation. Tech Lab on the racks into most likely an add-on swap, into Banshee play, into Hellion Banshee. So far, so good. If you recall in their first series, Solar, he actually never got into his game. He never got into his own proper mid-game setup. He never got to play any StarCraft. Never got to play. But coming into our first series, coming into Magnatha, so far it looks like he can actually embrace his game. So far, so good. Mages are on the way. Solar from here, just keeping up with the rotations with his queens. It's up to Solar to keep up to make sure that no major economic damage is dealt. The Hellions don't get into a mineral line. Likewise, Bunny, he's here to deny creep. Just to deny creep, just to keep the creep in check as best he can. Maintain that map control. It is going to be a lair first out of Solar. Going for the earlier lair. Not going for the earlier Roach Warren or Bailey Nest. Or Double Evo Chamber. Oh, Bunny looking to go for the dive. Does go for it. He does dive in. Evo Chamber is denied. Gets 2 drones so far and pulls away. Nice start. Nice start here by Bunny. Looking for another way in. As he's rotating, the Banshees are amassing. Cloak is almost done. And Solar, he's going into a hidden Roach Warren. Okay, that is a Roach Warren behind the natural. Hellions, they don't quite make it in. And Solar, he may cut workers early. He may just commit. But now he's running up to 3 bases. Taking his gases. Gases are on the way. 4th base is going to be delayed. Nice pickup. And we'll see if Solar does double down with it when it comes to Roach production. No Evo Chambers yet. Oh, just now being thrown down. Okay, getting into the Double Evo Chamber tells us that he plans on investing into upgrades. Tells us that he plans on going for at least a 1-1 timing. So he's going to be droning. Solar, he will drone. Banshees are deflected. Solar Sapphire is keeping up. He's defending. So far, so good. Likewise, behind this, Bunny also just saturating his bases. Building up. We have Tunneling Claws being prioritized. That is Tunneling Claws before Roach Speed. Is that intentional? I asked if that's intentional because we don't have Burrow. Burrow has not been researched, so I'm a little bit concerned. Again, it is 4 a.m. in South Korea. Sorry, 5 a.m. We have melee on the way, not range. I'm getting mixed signals. we're investing into 1-1 upgrades with melee. At the same time, we're getting into Tunneling Claws, not Roach Speed, and we're not investing into Burrow, not yet at least. So we're a little bit all over the place. We do have some Infestors on the way for safety fungal growths. Based on what we're seeing, I believe Tunneling Claws is a mistake. I believe that. I think that's meant to be Roach Speed. Yeah, Hive is on the way. We're not getting Burrow. Oh, no. I mean, it's not the biggest of deals, not having Roach Speed. It does hurt. Behind this, we're going for the 8 racks. 8 rack setup. No gas at the 3rd base. 3 base all in. 3 base all in out of Bunny. The Infestors will help. There's Roach Speed. Roach Speed has begun. Tank is in a nice position. Here come the Fungals. The Fungals going to be coming in. Nice, very nice target firing. Oh, both Infestors go down. 0 Fungals. Uh-oh. Yeah, 0 Fungals go up. And Bunny, he's running out of steam here. He has to back up. He has to regroup. But that was brutal. Both Infestors went down without a single spell. And here comes the reinforcing wave of army. Bunny, he might just break through. He might just break through here and now. We have 1 Infestor on the way. Remember, there are no Bailings. And the Roaches are slow. God. Ay. As Solar coming in from behind, gets one of the tanks. No, he doesn't get it. Tank survives. Tank does barely live. Banshees, they pop up. And Bunny, he's breaking through. Here comes the Fungal. Yeah, 1 Fungal. He sees it, backs up. And nice target once again. Very solid target firing. Bunny, calm down. Este Bunny. As he sims in, he sims, and he's here to win. As there's barely too many roaches, I say that more Marines will arrive. Tank shots going up. And Solar, he looks like he will barely hold on. Oh god, barely not. Jesus. As these are brutal trades for Solar. He will survive, he will clean this up, but not the cleanest trade. As Bunny, he's still rallying, and he has broken the back of Solar at this point. 0 Queens left, 0 Infestors left, and 0 Ravagers left as well. No Queens, no Ravagers, no Infestors. GG gets called, and Bunny, he will break on through Snowball out of control, taking game number 1. GG. And what impressed me the most in that game was every single time Infestors showed up, Bunny, he would pull back and he would target fire with his tanks, with his Banshees as well. There were 3 Infestors made this game, 3 Infestors, and not a single one landed a single fungal. It was crazy. It was also a little bit unfortunate. It was also a little bit unfortunate when it came to Solar getting Tunneling Claws. As we mentioned, at a certain point, it was clear that it was a mistake. Like, Tunneling Claws was not intentional there by any means. Especially because, of course, Burrow was never researched, and Hive was on the way. True. Also agreed out of Solar getting into the Hive. But that's something that did impact because, hey, with Roach speed, suddenly if he had a Roach speed, that means faster reinforcements. That means potentially a faster dive for the Roaches to get on top of the tanks as well. That really would have impacted the defense 100%. Like, it would have made things a little cleaner, a little easier for Solar. You could argue that may have cost him the game. I say may have because obviously there was still, you know, control on both sides, but it did impact just because of how heavily reliant Solar was on Roaches for that defense. GG. GG, well played with that. Congratulations with that. Bunny does take a lead in the series, and now we're getting to game number 2 for the first time. I didn't even get to talk about the maps. As you can see here, for the first time tonight, for the first time, I want to say for the entire group stage, I say that I didn't get to cast Group B, so I can't speak on Group B, but for Group A and Group C, Golden Wall. It has been years since Golden Wall was in the tournament map pool, but it is back. Golden Wall is back. This was a bit of a pioneer map, if you recall. We always make reference to Golden Wall for maps like Alcyone, for maps like what comes to mind, Torches as well. There are certain maps nowadays, I feels like we always have one in the map pool per rotation, which features half the map is cut off. El Dorado, also true. Like, we would always make reference to Golden Wall because how similar they were, because of this aesthetic, because of the style, because of this big feature. We'll get into it. As spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Golden Wall, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg for Team Falcons as well. Down in the series, it is Solar. For a moment, I thought that was like an Akatsuki cloak on the right hand side. I was a little bit perplexed. Let's go. Let's go. As for now, for now, we are going to be opening up, and welcome one and all to Golden Wall. Again, it has been a very, very long time. As I mentioned, I might go as far as to say this was the first map that had this big feature, right? I mentioned it before, but after this, we had maps like El Dorado, like Alcyone, like Torches, Crimson Court as well, maps which did feature this feature with half the map walled off by minerals. By the Golden Wall. We have minerals here towards the left, towards the right, towards the center as well, to gain access to the southern half of the map. And it feels like Golden Wall was one of the first maps that did kind of feature this, that eventually other maps did adopt themselves, that we've been able to showcase over the years. I do recall a lot of all-ins as well. That's a lot of where you just go like 12 full or 13-12, you'd mine through these minerals, pull the boys, mine through your opponent's minerals, and just rush into the main. Good times. Likewise, goal base is true. We have the goal base in the center. There's high ground to keep them safe. I want to say we saw a couple of Gangnam Terrans here as well. That's also a style that kind of fell out of favor just because of the maps. Nowadays, it's rare to see goal bases so close to your main, so it's more difficult to justify floating your main base over to pull off a Gangnam Terran as well. As it's become as it has become more standardized to put your goal base further away from the main base at a 4th location, for example. Also, I apologize for stumbling my words. It is 6 a.m. in the morning. Like I'm I'm hanging in there, Pappy. Hanging. We're rushing into a lair, by the way. Jesus. Insanely fast lair out of Solar, going for a second gas geyser. Based on this lair timing, a couple of things here. Could be 2 base muta, true. Could be 2 base muta here. You take your gases, short rush distance by air, so we could just be rushing into muta play. The other option would be, if we wanted to be more niche, 2 base swarm host. True, 2 base swarm host could be a thing as well. We're going for a hidden roach warren. Okay. I guess we're rushing into roach speed, I would assume. Either we're rushing into roach speed or we're going for a nidus. But we're not going for mutas. Not anymore. You have my attention, Pab. You have my attention. We have the Overlord coming in from behind. There's an Overlord out on the map. Do we go for the nidus? Yep, there it is. We're going for the nidus all in. Our eyes are on this Overlord. Oh, Google Translate. We need can we get a translation? Oh no. What's he saying? He's like, mate, where's your 3rd? What's happening? So I was like, I don't believe in a 3rd base. Don't worry about it. Hold on. Where's my Google Translate? Oh. Sorry. He brought up speed, right? Yeah, he brought up link speed. At least from what I can see, there we go. Nice into main base, but I think Bunny, he was actually asking where's link speed, because link speed was obviously skipped. Nice finishes, queens are going to be shut down, and Bunny defense. Bunny, he holds, he shuts us down. We don't get to experience Golden Wall, unfortunately. GG, well played. The Nidus does fail, and Bunny takes a 2-0 lead. Aye. I apologize for the moment of dead air there. I was whipping out my phone to Google Translate. Almost missed the entire game, but aye. GG, well played. Attempted 2 base all in and get shut down. Again, Bunny was all over that. Unfortunately, we saw the Nidus was within range of his vision, and GG, well played. Let's go. It's time to wake up and start your day. True. Time to wake up. Just catching with the shot. StarCraft Suki. Oh no. Going too far, baby. Going too far. Solar's Itachi. Oh, are you saying he's blind? Is that what you're saying? Oh no. Oh no. Is that why all the nukes landed? It's too real, baby. It's too real. It makes too much sense. As we do need a moment. Need a moment. The sun is out. Time for bed, baby. True. I mean, I say that because of the event, like events like this, my sleep schedule is a little bit all over the place. I believe our next cast should be just the next day of Maestros of the game, so I have to try to line up my sleep and try to wake up as late as possible to make sure I'm I'm sane to make sure I'm present for the cast. So even if the cast does end early, I'm probably going to stay up a little bit longer. I might try to go to bed like at midday, maybe. If I go to bed at midday, I wake up at around like 8 or 9 p.m. Then I can get some food, get some breakfast. I can have breakfast at 9 p.m. and then I'll like shower, and then I'll be good to go, good to cast at like 2 a.m. in the morning. Let's go. That StarCraft casting schedule. Let's go. So that might be the plan. That might be the plan. As a reminder, 4 days straight of Maestros of the game. Tomorrow is Group D. Tomorrow is Group D. The final group. Hold on. I should not be here. I'm in the wrong place. Oh no. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. I think we're having a regame. Hold on. Is that what's happening right now? So I'm trying to get a word on what's going on. So I think the game that we just played was not on the official version of Golden Wall, or maybe it was. They're trying to figure it out. They're trying to figure it out. I'll notify you what happens. But thank you for the translations as well. Bunny was asking about the map. And also, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Neocortex. Thank you so much, Neocortex. God, thank you so much for the gifted. Sorry, for the Twitch Prime. For the Twitch Prime for the first time. Thank you. Thank you. My great Neocortex. Is that the is he the main antagonist from Crash Bandicoot? Yeah, I remember. Okay, we're good. So it looks like there was just like an issue when it came to the map, but it's been resolved. It's been resolved. I think they were questioning like whether that was the official version of Golden Wall or not, and it was. So with that, Bunny's up 2-0. Bunny's up 2-0, and we're now getting into our next game. Oh boy. Oh. Yeah, they're saying that that the map that I played on was different from the official version. But I think they're still gonna go through with it anyway. Just maybe a mix up. All good. Official version is the latter edition from 5 years ago. Yeah, something along those lines. I know there was an issue with the version of the map that we're playing on. I think there was like the TLMC 13 version, the latter version, but yeah, in the end, we will continue the series, getting into Tokamak. Getting into Tokamak. Meanwhile, big shout out to Sensyoha in the chat. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for also subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy. We have a lot of lovely emotes in the chat. You can veg. You can eat some ramen. You can get some water. And also, you also are able to receive replay packs. We have replay packs on our Discord that we do hand out to our subscribers. So replays are available if you are interested in that sort of thing. Then you can gain them. But here we go. We're getting to our next game and spawning into the top right hand corner of Tokamak. We have in the top right hand corner we have our South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran. We have a red Terran. We have a red from South Korea. It is a Bunny. So good. So I have some explaining to do. We'll get into it. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. So there was a lot of confusion. Buddy was adamant that there was something wrong with the map. And he that's why there was a delay. That's why I was confused as well. He was adamant. It's fine. That like no, it's no, like there's meant to be like a watchtower. There's meant to be like this is not the official map. And the admins were looking into it and they were checking. They're like, no, everything's fine. Bunny was confusing Golden Wall with El Dorado. He was thinking of El. That's why he was confused as to the layout. He's like, this is not what is happening. And so basically he was just confusing the map, and everyone was confused as to what was happening. And it's like, it's all good. It's all good. So there was no issue when it came to Golden Wall. The players just thought that yeah, there was an issue. Bunny. Ay. But here we go. Here we go. We're getting into our next game. Getting into game number 3 of the series. Getting into game 3. As we are up 2-0. And I'm hoping that we have a back and forth. I'm hoping that Solar can bring it back as well. I see in the chat someone asking, what happened? Play the wrong map. No, they played the correct map. He just thought it was the wrong map. Like... He just thought we were meant to be playing on El Dorado. No, we were meant to play on Golden Wall. Like that's yeah. That's why Bunny was apologizing. He was like, "I'm sorry. Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. It's all good, Bunny. It's all good. Don't worry about it." Behind this third CC before Starport, economic opener out of Bunny. But yeah, for those that are just now tuning in, we are nearing the end of the series here. Bunny was able to claim the win both on Magnatha and on Golden Wall. Now we're in that third game. Solo going for a standard hatch gas pool into a third. Remember Golden Wall because it was such a unique map. I mean, as I was mentioning, we spoke about the map itself more than the game itself last game, talking about how Golden Wall, at least in my memory, was the first map which had that feature, which you would cut the map in half with minerals. It was a bit of a pioneer because afterwards, then we would get El Dorado, then we'd get Crimson Court, then we would get Alcyone, and even Torches nowadays as well, which now feature that style. We spoke about it. Then the game ended. Regardless, we do have our Reaper Hellion follow-up. So again, everything's looking normal. So I say Reaper Hellion, Hellion Banshee. Cloak is on the way. And we'll see if Solar can keep up with the initial aggression of Bunny. Once again, Solar, I say once again, is going for an earlier lair timing. This is a 4:09 lair timing. So very early here by Solar, earlier than normal. This is not as early as last game, which led into a Night Assault in, but early enough to take note of. From here, we'll see if we take extra gases. If extra gases are taken, this could be for, say, 2-base Muta. Could be for Muta play. Our eyes are on Solar for how he does make use of this lair. Ooh, meanwhile, we're going for a Hellbat push. Okay, we're going 3cc Hellion Banshee into an Armory into Hellbats. Bearing in mind, this is not the same build that we saw last time out of Bunny in the previous series. Last time it was more committed. This time, 3rd CC. This is a macro Hellbat push against Roaches. Okay. So this Hellbat push does hit later because of the 3rd CC. So it's going to be a later move out. And we're going into mech. We're meching it up. Oh, God. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. So 3cc Hellbat push into mech. Into most likely battle mech. One queen gets caught out. Roach 1's not done. Yeah, Roach 1 is not yet done. The queen's getting caught. Hellbats do morph in, and Solar's not ready for this. He's not ready for this. He needs time to morph in those roaches. Hellbats are waddling in. Getting on top of the queens. There is transfuse. And so far trying to transfuse. Banshees, they do rotate away from the detection. Queens are going down. And some queens are falling. Getting 3, 4, 5 queen kills. But we're running out of Hellbats, and Solar will barely hold on. Whew. He'll barely hold, barely defend. Thankfully, doesn't lose any workers. At the same time, we have Lings across the map. Not bad. 11 SCV kills. Oh, can we chase down the final queens? Can we get them? Clutch transfuse. Ooh, gets one more. Gets one more queen, and Solar, he will turn this defense into an offense. What do we see? Overlord speed. Overlord speed is on the way because of the faster lair. Drop lords are going to be available, and we're going for a German taxi. We're loading up. We're going for the taxi. We're sending it across the map. And Bunny, does he have enough? Oh, does he have enough at home to defend? He's going for a 4cc. Now is not the time. Now is not the time to expand, Papi. Ay, ay, ay. Battlemech can be good, but Bunny, he needs time to build up his army. He's time to build up his forces. Here comes the all-in. As Overlord speed is done. And here comes the taxi. We have Lings to reinforce. Roach Ravager gets spotted. Bunny, he spots the all-in. Spots the move out. He can try to slow this down. Nice lock on the Drop Lord. But Lings, they hit the natural. They come in from behind once again. And we're here to make a series out of this. We're here to make a series out of it. We're not going to get out 3-0. Boys are being pulled. SCVs are going down. Solar, he's on top of the 3rd. And the 4th base is denied. From here, Bunny's contained. It's contained on 2 bases. Solar, he's droning up back at home. He's droning and saturating. He doesn't even need to be honest. He could just send it. The boys are being pulled, and Bunny supply blood. He can't make anything. We have 2 tanks in the main, 2 tanks on the high ground, but it does not matter because down go 29 SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. Nine workers going down. And Bunny, he can try to recover from here. He is playing mech, with which is a very efficient army, true. But behind this, Solar should be able to drone up to drone up to 4 bases, to 80 workers, take up into a hive, and be the first to max out. Solar even spreading creep. Denying the 3rd base for as long as possible. Gets a tank. Now the army supplies are still relatively close. Solar is going into Swarm Hosts. Okay, 11 Swarm Hosts on the way. And Bunny's all in. Bunny's all in. It's either he ends the game here and now or he dies trying. Trying to macro out of this is going to be so difficult for Bunny. There's the on siege. Swarm hosts have arrived. And thankfully the Locust Wave is not being used across the map. Yeah, it moves into the main army. Tanks are exposed and the tanks will all go down. GG gets called. GG gets called, and Solar, he will fight back. He will put a point on the board. Whew, GG. GG. Again, a cheeky build here by Bunny. The initial opener, I would say, actually was quite solid. Bunny, he was able to almost reset the queen counts, was able to do a lot of damage. It mainly traded out Hellbats for queens. Wasn't a bad start for Bunny, but the problem is that he didn't scout the follow-up, didn't realize that Solo was going all in. Didn't realize Solo, he was going for the all in, that he was going for a massive counterattack. As a result, Bunny, he was expanding. He was getting another CC in the face of the all-in, and Bunny was caught with his pants down. Another big moment, of course, I spoke about how Bunny had a decent Hellbat push, that is true, but there was a Ling flood at the same time. A Ling counterattack, I should say, which got 11 SCVs. So, very nice counterattack out of Solar. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting ready for our next game. And is this the beginning of the comeback? Do we begin the comeback here? Solar, he needs one more game to force the ace match, and we are loading into Gresvan. Oh boy, another blast from the past. Gresvan, another one of these older maps in the map pool, was active back in, what, 2022, 2023? Was known for being one of the more macro maps out there as well. Do you recall a lot of late game on Gresvan back in the day? We'll see if we get there again. Here we go. Purity in Industry is my most hated map. I don't think I ever played on Purity in Industry. I think I just vetoed it immediately. What map am I thinking of? Jesus. Thinking of Daedalus Point. There's been some pretty, like, brutal maps out there in the past. Daedalus Point. Was Daedalus Point the one with the bridge in between the main bases? Oh no, this was... I remember this. We'll get into it. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gresvan, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg representing Team Falcons. Hey, fighting back, putting a point on the board. It is a Solar. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran. We have representing Team Falcons, leading the series 2-1. Still one game away from claiming the entire series. It is Bunny. Here we go. Was Daedalus Point the map which had the natural, which was like 4 next side long? What map was that? Jesus. There was some crazy maps back in the day. Insane maps. Aye, aye, aye. But here we go. Again, we're back on Gresvan. Again, Gresvan, known for longer, later games. We've seen a lot of scenarios here. I don't know if Bunny really wants to allow that to happen. Bunny has been typically much more aggressive in these matches. We've been seeing a lot of Hellbat pushes, a lot of 8-racks as well. Some earlier timing attacks out of Bunny have been deadly here, but the larger the maps gets, the better chances I want to give to Solar to be able to recover, bounce back, and claim these games. So coming into maps like Gresvan, Tokamak, Maganatha, I'm going to lean towards Solar, but we'll see. We shall see, as he's had a rocky series so far. Bunny does move out. So far, Hatch Gas Pool, third base on the way, standard opener here to Solar. Last game, Solar did go for an earlier 4-minute lair timing, which led into eventually the counterattack in the German taxi. We'll see if he does something crazy here as well. Yeah, that was it. I was curious. Daedalus Point was the map where it was either 3 or 4 Nexus wide. The ramp to the natural, which was crazy. Crazy. Aye, aye, aye. It was a meme map. Basically, because the ramp was so wide and so large, players just couldn't wall off, and Zerg would just like almost insta win because you just couldn't wall your natural. Crazy times. But now though, once again, we're going for what? We're going for a Marauder Hellbat push. 1-1-1. We have not seen this build yet in this series, but if you remember, this was actually the first game of the broadcast. The very first game of the broadcast, as we're building up Marauders, Hellions, Viking first to deny the Scout, and the Armory is hidden here at the natural. Now, the Overlord has been denied the Scout as well. The Overlord tries to poke in, the Marine will deter, and so far, Solar is in the dark. Now, I'm hoping that Solar does play safe. If he goes for a lair first, if he goes double Evo chamber, then I'm gonna get some deja vu because that's what happened last time. Safety Baneling Nest. Okay, Baneling Nest before lair, which means we will have Banelings to defend, or at least we can morph them in. So there's a safe opener out of Solar. Going for the Banelings. It still comes down to the unit control, for sure. Comes down to the control. Queens are moving in. And here comes the drop. We're going for the Queens. Yeah, Marauders have arrived. Baneling is still not yet done. Hellbat's morph in. Nice snipe on the medevac. Yeah, medevac goes down early, but that's still going to be 2 dead Queens. Down to how many? Down to 6. Down to 5. 5 Queens left. The Banelings are not going to finish. Yeah, they should not finish. The Hellbats, can they get on top of the Banelings? Oh, they can. They can and they will. The Banelings, they will not finish up, but the final one is denied. And without Banelings, there is no defense. Yeah, no defense here. We're going to chase out every single Queen. And Bunny, he's here to qualify. He's here to make it through into the playoffs. There's 2 Queens left. Down to 2. Oh, no. There's no chance to use either. Boys are being pulled away. You have 2 Banelings on the way in the main. The final Queens get chased down. And the Banelings that will finish, but too little too late. Too late at this point. We have 1 Baneling connecting. And then we have 1 more Baneling on the way. And with that, we're never going to get into the mid game or the late game. It's not going to happen. Down goes the final Baneling. We have reinforcements flying in from across the map. And GG gets called. Bunny, he will claim the series 3-1. And Bunny will make it through into the playoffs. GG. Bunny. GG, well played, Bunny. He will make it through. Congratulations. Again, a very intense series here. Very short series as well. I mean, sure, it was the best of 5, and we at least got 4 games, but we never really got to sink our teeth into any of these DVTs, really. I want to say that for most of these games, not all of these games, they ended quite quickly here in the mid game or in the early game as well. But GG. GG, well played. Some intense games nonetheless. My condolences to Solar and my condolences to Rogue, as both players are out of the tournament. They are both out. And with that, let's catch up on the rest of the group as we can switch our scenes over and have a look at the group itself. Here you can see Bunny took down initially, Bunny took down Solar early on at the start of the broadcast. So did Clem. Clem took down Rogue, I should say. They did have a bit of a back and forth between Clem and Rogue, but again, still really fast games, really short games. In the end, Clem was looking dominant over Bunny when it came to his PvT. Clem was the first player to make it through, and then of course we had Rogue being the first player eliminated, and then followed by Solar. So Rogue and Solar are out of the tournament. Congratulations to Clem and Bunny. And with that, we have two more players making it through into the playoffs, and we're still not done. I mean, we're done for today, but we're not done for the group stage because we still have Group D. Group D is still remaining, and actually, let us quickly show off. Can we show off Group D? Here we go. So coming into Group D, who do we have? We have 4 players left to make it through. We have Maru Lambo, Hero, and Showtime. We have 2 Protoss, 1 Zerg, and 1 Terran player. Maru, Lambo, Hero, and Showtime. It's going to be an interesting series, an interesting back and forth between all these players. Coming into this, as always, Maru, he's a little bit more of a question mark. This year, 2025, Maru has been looking a little bit more shaky. He has not been looking as solid as he has in the past. Yes, he still popped off at DreamHack Dallas, for example, but the way he popped off was also in a more interesting way, or in a more, how should I say, predictable way. A lot of 8-Raxes, a lot of mech, a lot of all-ins we have been seeing out of Maru. We'll see if he can make it through. I think I still lean towards Hero and Maru making it through, but Showtime has been looking very impressive as of late, and I can see a world where Hero and Showtime make it through instead of Lambo and Maru. But best of luck regardless. And again, that's going to be in less than 24 hours. In around 20 hours, in 20 hours time, we're going to be live with Group D here on this channel. Again, because it's in 20 hours, I'm probably going to stay up a little bit longer. The sun is shining brightly. You can see my face is more orange than usual. It's no, the sun. Stay away, papi, stay away. The sun has risen here in Australia. It is almost 7 a.m. in the morning, and I'm probably going to stay up a little bit longer just to try to adjust my sleep schedule to make sure that I'm present for the cast. But again, 20 hours time for Group D. Look forward to it. I also do apologize for not being here yesterday. We weren't able to cast Group B. Unfortunately, I was unavailable. Speaking of, adjusting my sleep, we had 3 casts yesterday, 3 different casts, and I did not get any sleep at all. So I was very, very fatigued. Technically, I could have casted Group B live yesterday, but I was not all there, and I wouldn't have been satisfied with the quality of the cast itself. So I'm probably going to be doing that by replays. I do have the replays available, so I'm going to be casting Group B via replays in a couple of days time. Most likely, I think we have it slated for Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. So Wednesday we are going to be catching up with Group B. Otherwise, tomorrow we'll be live with Group D. With that, thanks for watching, thanks for the support. If you want to follow us, you can do so on YouTube, !socials in the chat. We have Facebook, Instagram, Discord, Twitter, YouTube. We upload VODs on YouTube on a daily basis, so if you want to watch more of us, and if you're tuning in for the first time, we cast StarCraft live on a daily basis every single day. We're typically live twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. We cast more StarCraft than any other channel out there, and that's been the case for the past 5 years. Basically, ever since COVID, we were casting StarCraft full time. Well, that's when we started casting StarCraft full time in 2020, and ever since then, non-stop. It would be nice to have some time off. I think this year we've had 5 days where we haven't casted StarCraft. I think we've had 5 days off in 2025. So I do apologize for that, but we'll make up for that. Don't worry. Jesus. We'll make up for it, man. We'll make up for it. It's going to be a really intense period of time as well. We have the RSL around the corner. We're going to be co-streaming the Revival StarCraft League. On top of that, we have, of course, Maestros of the game. We have Stellarfest. For those who don't know, there's an offline event happening in Canada. So Stellarfest qualifiers are coming into October. We have the SC2 Safe House. We were the B stream for the Safe House last year, so we might be the B stream this year. I have to reach out. We'll see what happens. But Safe House is also in October. That's an event happening in Vegas, in the Americas. We have Stellarfest. We have the Platinum StarCraft League. We have a Home Story Cup. Let's add all the StarCraft towards the end of the year. So yeah, do tune in. Do consider following us. Consider following us here on the CranKy Ducklings. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for the final day of the group stage of Maestros of the game. Once again, a big shout out to Comeback TV. Shout out to the French community for organizing, hosting, casting, for making this event a reality. The crowdfunding as well, for all those that backed the project, for all those that backed the event via crowdfunding. And this is all leading into a big offline finals. I say offline finals, offline portion of the playoffs will be happening in France. So look forward to it. Do look forward to it. And again, we should be casting it live here on the channel as well. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Also, a shout out to an anonymous gifter in the chat for a gifted sub to the community. God, I mean, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Gifting a sub to Netcrypt. There we go. Doing my best. But thank you so much, papi. Clem played Toss? Yes. He always plays Protoss against Terran. Always. Always plays the Protoss. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Oh, true. We have a Patreon as well if you're interested. Our Patreon funds our tournaments, specifically our weekly tournaments and our monthly tournaments. So if you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon as well if you want to support us. But otherwise, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. And a shout out to Einstein for gifting us up to Optimus Prime as well. Thank you, Einstein. Thank you. Always do appreciate it. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, thanks for watching. Ciao, papi, ciao. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Stick around. We're gonna be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who's live at the moment? I see for Jumi. I know Jumi's live, so we could give some love to Jumi. Who else? Oh, mate, Dave is live as well. True. I will give some love to Jumi. Good guy, good friend, good friend. All right, see you next time. Ciao, baby, ciao. See you next time. Hasta luego.